It's still hot as shit here. It's still
Say it cooled off
95.
quite a bit.
It got real cold here this week, and I believe it's about to be 76 this week.
Oh, okay.
Here
From 40s to 70s.
I was gonna say
Thanks.
that's where we're at right now. We're in the 50s right now, and then it looks like till Saturday we're gonna be in about the upper 60s, maybe lower 70s.
Mm.
Yeah, I can get that.
Nice.
It's been cold enough that I've had to ride with my visor up because my glasses keep fogging over from me breathing in my helmet.
Oh, there you go.
But it's the kind of weather I like to ride in because I'm not sweating my butt off the
Right.
entire time, sitting in the sun.
All right, you guys ready to get started?
Yep.
Sure.
All right, let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to another episode of That Video Game Podcast, aka TVGP. I'm your host, Boston. Joining me as always is Moonpear
Hello.
and the Nimp.
Hello.
Quick plug here, patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
$5 a month tier is a recommended one that gets you everything, including the uncensored exclusive Outcast. So we're talking about all the non-video game stuff, all the stuff that's going on in our lives. That happens every week, comes out alongside this episode. You get early access to We Roguelike It and Critical Misses. You get exclusive access to the Critical Misses production meeting. One of my favorite things we do, the real behind-the-scenes kind of how the sausage is made, like a real kind of
Left-hand machine.
yeah, the left turn machine. It's a real like a very casual kind of fly on the wall sort of meeting. If you want to know how any of our production meetings go in general, they're exactly like that show. And then you get access to the exclusive show, The Wayward Sons, the Supernatural TV show watchcast that Moon and Imp are going through. All of that and more. Patreon.com/E1M1.
The ones and numbers.
I'm going to toss the floor over here for Moon to give a quick special announcement here.
Yeah, so we've been playing Lethal Company for a while, and it will be the first game I talk about, which I'll talk about in a second. But friend of the show, Bills, wants a big get-together, essentially. So within about 2 minutes of thinking, I realized that in 2 weeks' time is October 25th. Friday is October 25th in 2 weeks. So Bill's available to play. We're all available to play as normal. And it's the show's 17th anniversary on Saturday,
Happy birthday.
October 26th.
Yep.
So, long story short, I'm going to put a new mod list together. A smaller mod list, we'll say. A less intimidating
A more
mod
focused.
list, we'll say. Yes.
Yeah,
All the Eldritch horrors.
that's right.
And we are going to try and get as many people as we can in to play Lethal Company that day. Hosts, friends of the show, personal friends, so on and so forth. We're going to try and get as many people as we can to just come in and have a good /scary /screamy time playing Lethal Company together. So I'm going to try and get some friendly mods together, and that's the whole plan. This is the call now, 2 weeks in advance, October 25th. We're going to do right about 9 p.m. Eastern is going to be the start time. So do your own math, because I can't do it because I haven't lived here long enough yet. Yeah, have fun. Join us.
Yeah.
Have a chit-chat.
Come
Good.
join the Discord server. We'll coordinate somewhere in there, probably in the LFG channel, but I'll try and stream it too.
Say, what's the mod program and stuff you need people to install?
It's R2 Modman. I'll post all of that in the LFG group. As we're done recording today, I'll put links.
Yeah,
no specs or nothing. Let's go.
That's right. Yeah, R2 Modman is actually a really surprisingly easy program to use, and it makes that whole process considerably easier than has any right to be. It's basically you install R2 Modman, you select your game, and then I give you guys a code. You paste that code, and it gives you all of the mods I have, and sets them all exactly as I have them set, so that we can all play together without worrying about version updates and everything else that happens. All that business.
You get a nice little command window that can spoil stuff for you that you didn't want to know about.
Oh yeah, all that.
Yeah, when it loads. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happened when I put the facility in, right? It's got the SCP logo in, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Don't watch it, Nimp. Don't watch it. There's
Don't-
something
I'd
in there for you. You don't want
already
to see
seen it
it."
at that point. 'Cause I
And
was
it's
like,
got
what's
ASCII art
SCP?
going
Yeah.
through the load screen.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like,
so that'll
well,
be
oops.
the 25th, correct? October 25th, 2024, if you're listening in the future.
Friday the 25th at about 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah. So be there
I'm
and
gonna
be scared.
So
Come join us.
yes, and Square as well.
That's
if
right.
you want to, we'll see.
Yeah.
But I'll put all of the stuff together. I'll get the mod list together. I'm not going to do it immediately because I want time to think about what is going to be positive and negative based on our experiences playing it.
Mm-hmm.
I want the extra random people in there, the extra random monsters that we don't know how to deal with, for example.
And if you can't make
there
it,
is a
oh, go ahead.
yeah. If you can't make it, it's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna try and stream it. And stream it to the TVGP YouTube channel. So that way
yeah,
we'll
I'll
have
see what I can do as well.
yeah, some sort of record of it as well. A birthday celebration.
And for the double record, I will be changing my settings on the emotes to DMCA free, so you won't be able to hear any of that stuff.
Appreciate that.
When
Thank
somebody
you.
eventually spans it.
Yeah.
If you play and stream at Boston, you should do the same.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'll have to go.
I can walk you through how to do it. It's fine. But yeah, jump in, play with us, have fun, scream, fall off cliffs. We're all at the point now where none of us take it seriously. If we live, we live. If we fail, we fail. Nobody really cares.
If he dies, he dies.
Good. Exactly.
Yeah.
A great example of that was on Friday while playing Lethal Company with Bill Sifford. We had a bit of extra money, so I bought him a shotgun and some shells.
Oh, perfect.
And
What could go wrong?
And this was at the company store, and he picked them up and he brought them to the ship. And me being tired and not thinking, hit the lever as he jumped off the ship to go and collect his other 2 shells.
And left them behind.
While carrying the shotgun. So I left Bill the shotgun and 2 shells behind, and we didn't have enough money to buy them again.
Perfect.
Way to go.
Oops, I guess.
I'm sorry.
I like Lethal Company.
Yeah.
And apparently one of the level mods I used just installed. So, Nimp, you've been to Egypt, right? The land of the worm.
Yeah, because we made the whole giant joke about we need a Stargate level and all this and that. And...
Yes. So the issue with that level is we constantly were getting attacked by worms. That's why I haven't been back there in a while. I didn't want to play with it. I was done. It was just like, no, I'm fine. There's an Egyptian tomb level now associated with that map. And it's really, really cool. And it seems to have its own special monsters. And it has its own special, like, apparatus and everything.
Nice.
So I was like, oh. Now we have to go back a lot and then hopefully not die by sandworm. I do, as written by law, every time we approach that level, I always say to everybody, don't walk with rhythm. Or walk without rhythm.
That's right.
It's
and
required
don't bunch
by
up
law.
either.
Yes, definitely don't bunch up. And I don't know who this pro you've got playing this game is on this video, Boston, but nobody can use the jetpack that way. No.
No. Any vehicles or machines or anything that anybody uses, you're like, how do I even use this? And then you just explode immediately.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's why I let everybody else grab them. And I'm just like,
right.
all right, have fun. I'll watch you. Yeah.
we had the truck for a while.
Uh-huh.
And then failed miserably at the truck because that's probably the best word for it. But I don't know, it still produces those wonderful stupid moments. It still produces hilarity and dumbness, and it's very funny when you start playing with people frequently enough and you know how they play. So like anytime I go into any form of the base with Bill, I try and lead him away from teleporters. Because I know if he sees a teleporter, he's immediately just going to jump onto it and like
Whee!
he doesn't care. Yep. He is the chaos in human form is what he is. And it's the same with the apparatus. He can't help himself. He is now called the Moth anytime we play with him because it's a bright light and he pulls it out and then the base explodes. Spoiler alert. And he's even getting sneaky.
I was gonna say, do you still have that mod on where it locks it? Okay.
Yeah. I still have the one on where it blows the entire base up after 2 minutes. Yes, I do.
That's great.
I will be keeping it too. Mm-hmm. So be forewarned, everybody else.
Keep your hands to yourself.
Yes. But the good news is with that mod, you can only pick it up if there's 2 people around. You can't just pick it up by yourself. It has to be 2 people. But that's where Bill gets sneaky. Because we were playing the other day, and I can't even remember what map it was, but we were playing. I was on a different part of the base where I could hear where he was. And I heard him say something, and then Ash responded, and then about 4 seconds later, the apparatus got pulled, and he's done it to me before, where he's like, "Hey, come and look at this. This is really cool." And then you go down a corridor, and you get close enough, and then he just pulls it, and then you have to run for your life.
Like, hey, kids, want to see a dead body? No.
He doesn't tell you what he's gonna do. He's just like, "Hey, go over here. Want to see something cool?
Somebody dropped $20 on the ground over there."
Well, yeah, because we're about collected scrap.
That's
so
right.
He's like, hey, I'm full. There's a bunch of scrap over here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have his hands full, but he's full, apparently.
There's a V-type engine over there. Go grab it. Gotcha.
Uh-huh. And then before you know it, the entire base is exploding, and there's a Holocaust happening because, nukes are going off everywhere.
Ah, so good.
It's fantastic, and he's terrible for it, and sure. Let's see. I played Boston. Where are we at on the We Rogue Like It run? We're up to current, correct? Relatively?
I think so.
I should check my feed. So I have been taking featherlight touches, and I do mean featherlight touches at Have a Nice Death, is it?
Yes, Have a Nice Death.
Okay, so that just hit the main feed.
Okay.
Minus spoiler alert, if you're not a patron, that will only last 1 more week.
Yeah.
Before we switch to a different game. Because the game has a habit of deleting my save file on the Xbox.
It's a great feature, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic feature, and there is no explanation, no fix, no reason why, nothing. So when I say featherlight touch, I mean no other game is open, no other game has been opened. I've opened the Xbox from fresh. Nothing is downloading, nothing is queued, nothing is patching, nothing. Literally, the Xbox is only focused on one thing and one thing only.
Yep.
And that's this game. I'm enjoying playing the game a lot. I wish it was stable enough or reliable enough for me to talk about it on a separate show where we talk about roguelikes.
Yep.
I just can't take that risk. I don't want to start the game 4 different times because I've already done it 3 times. Like, one more will kill me.
And if you haven't seen Have a Nice Death before, I think the thing that we were surprised about when we started playing it is it's at Dead Cells. It's literally just Dead Cells with a different color palette. So it's cool.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yes, a very black and white color palette with colors, really well used color, I think. And we had positive things to say about it when we talked about it on We Rogue Like It a lot.
Yep.
We talked very positively about it.
Yeah.
I don't trust the save game is the problem.
You're not going to be the only one talking about save issues this week.
Oh
no.
Great.
Oh, boy.
Completely different game and system.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a PlayStation 5 issue, apparently.
No, it's not even a PlayStation issue. This is just we didn't think about this issue.
Even better.
Okay. Let's see. Stem Pinball Arcade. Don't even bother with a video, Boston. Keeps high roller table. Keep trying to get my wizard goals on that. My 2 I've got left. It's very difficult. I will get there eventually. Hidden Cats in London. I played the rest of this. The randomly spaced cats. So 150 instead of 100, and they're random, and you get special cats, which unlock bonus levels, which then you can do the bonus levels, and it's like, oh, it's a pub. Find the cats in the pub.
Great.
Oh, it's the tube station. Find the cats in the tube station.
I love it.
It's a it's a hidden object game. It's a hidden cat game, so it's exactly what it says on the tin.
Yep.
It is relaxing and fun and stupid to play, and it doesn't make me think too much, which is exactly what I'm looking for sometimes.
Yeah.
My final game this week is probably the dumbest game to ever exist.
Great.
We Heart Katamari Reroll.
Yes.
Which is the remake of the sequel that is currently on Game Pass.
Oh, okay.
Very recently on Game Pass, like a week or two ago, I believe. Yeah, Katamari is the dumbest thing I've ever played in my life, and for the record, I do have a history with it. I did play the original on the PlayStation back in the day. I do love the gameplay specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care about what the king says. Don't care what the prince says. Like, it's all just random gibberish to me because it does not seem like it's translated particularly well.
No, man, but that's just the experience. Did you see that intro?
That's right.
True. What it is one of those games where, for me, the gameplay is king. It is one of the most fun, stupid games that you can play, where it's just like, yeah, you're a ball and you roll up little things, then you get bigger and you roll up big things.
Yep.
What more do you want? Oh, you got a pencil sticking out sideways? It rolls funny. It still rolls, but it just rolls funny.
Yep.
Katamari has always been one of those games where it's like, yeah, I really, really do like them. And I haven't played the game in such a long time at this point. It's like, sure. It's Game Pass, so I can just install it and play it. It's got the Katamari music. It doesn't have that music as much as you'd like it to, but it still has Katamari music.
Reroll has a
and
good
it's
soundtrack.
still that stupid fun gameplay.
Yep.
It's so simple and ridiculous and occasionally very difficult to control.
Yeah. I do have to say they did do a really good job on these remasters. It's so crisp, it's unreal. And the size of the UI tells me that they really tried to go as honest as they could to the original, because the UI is huge. It really is.
It's so big.
Yeah.
It's like the inverse of the Dead Rising problem when the 360 came out, where instead of being tiny, it's just way too big.
Yep.
And I forgot how much the king talks in the center of the screen whenever you get anything special, like a cousin or a present.
You rolled up a prince. Talking. It's like, stop, shush.
You're just blocking the middle of the screen, dude. Just please shut up, go away. I'm trying to roll some stuff up. I don't know. I like Katamari. It is dumb.
Yep.
It is fun. It's Blue Sky, but in a weird Blue Sky kind of way.
Sure, yeah.
Because I know where these games go.
Mm-hmm.
And I know eventually I'm rolling up the galaxy.
Right.
And throwing it into the sun.
Benevolently.
Yes, benevolently.
With love.
Yes. I'm sure that's what the devil calls the end of days as well.
That's right.
With love, you're done.
That's right.
I don't know. I saw it. I figured out I wanted to play something that wasn't as stressful as everything else I can and probably should play. And if there's something that's really not that stressful, it's Katamari.
Yeah.
So I give it a shot. I still like it. I will hopefully keep playing it when I have time to play video games at all, which is not a whole lot. Which is why that's my last game this week, Mr. Nim. Take it away.
All right. So I'm just going to jump right into it. The Callisto Protocol. They've beaten that game now.
Oh, dang.
God, I hate some of the spooky crap in this game. So,
hold on.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I need clarification. Hate or hate, open brackets, complementary, close brackets.
Right.
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, a little bit of bracket A, a little bit of bracket B. So, there are a couple areas in the game that people complained about having a difficulty spike.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these that I was reading came from people who just within the last year picked up this game or re-picked up the game, whatever. So this isn't like day one release people complaining about these. And as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been a patch, so I don't think these issues have been patched out. But a lot of people were complaining about a specific two-headed thing that you fight multiple times, which, yes, is a super pain in the butt, and I absolutely hate it. But fighting it all 3 times that I did was kind of easy, because if you just know how to dodge in this game, which is literally hold down or, you know, push the stick to the left and hold it there, or push it to the right and hold it there, you're going to dodge whatever attack is coming your way.
Okay.
And that kind of made this game easier for me to deal with in a funny way, because my character was always kind of crab walking, because even if you don't see the attack coming, as long as you're holding the stick in that direction, that character will automatically dodge whatever attack is coming from whatever direction.
Okay.
So anytime there was a blind corner, I was crab walking that corner in case something decided to pop out. But yeah, it's just, you have to pay attention to what you're doing. You can't, like, this boss, the two-headed boss thing that I'm talking about, that I'm being vague on, it's a one-hit kill if it hits you. You know how many times it killed me? 0. Because it's a simple dodge mechanic. You just have to pay attention and see when it's getting ready to attack you.
You just need to play the game.
It's just like a Souls game. Yeah, it's just like a Souls game. Don't get greedy. The thing is going to swipe at you. You dodge. You take 2 taps, and then you step back, because you go for that 3rd tap, and it's going to one-hit kill you.
Oh, okay.
This sounds like a get good argument to me.
It is.
A little bit, yeah.
For a lot of people. There's videos of people that I was watching where they were complaining about the dodge not working. It's like, I'm watching you play this game. You're not dodging. You don't know how this dodge mechanic works, and you're 6 hours into this game.
Right, you got to do the dodging, man.
Yeah. Now, is that to say that it is perfect? No, there are issues with the game, off and on. One issue that isn't exactly control-based that I'm going to bring up right now is, like I said earlier, I had problems with the saves in this game. Apparently it is a known issue.
I want to hear about.
Well,
with that,
so
like,
yeah,
playing on PlayStation, there was some issues on Xbox and PC at some point, but it seems like it's mostly been fixed on those two. But for some reason, it's still an issue on PlayStation. I loaded up my game, and I just hit continue. Continues into my game, and I was at the point where I already had the spacesuit and a bunch of, you know, stuff. I knew where I was at, and this put me back where I was wearing the orange jumpsuit again. I'm like, no, this is not correct.
It's not my save.
So, yeah, so I back out, hit load, and as I'm getting ready to select my save file, there's only one autosave file, and it's that save file.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what just happened? I'm like, okay, PlayStation, I love you. Close out the game. Tell it, hey, you've been backing up my save files to the cloud. Why don't you bring those back down here for me?
Right, yeah, re-download the cloud saves.
Yeah, I do that, go back into the game, still nothing.
Oh, no.
I'm like, I'm going to do the pinnacle of IT knowledge. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to turn it back on. I'm going to re-download my save cloud information, because I see the saves are on the cloud, so I haven't lost them. And I was about a step away from backing those up onto a USB drive here in a moment if this didn't work either. Boot back into the game, my saves are there.
Oh, weird.
Cool. Load into the game, start playing again. Had to stop at some point, you know, later on, a day or two later, go back into the game. It's only got that one autosave again.
Jeez.
Close the game, download saves from cloud, reopen game, save files are there now. And I'm like,
that's wild.
Okay, as long as it's holding it in the cloud, I don't care.
That's right.
But you are absolutely correct that I made sure that those saves were uploaded every time I shut that game off. So that was a weird issue. I don't know what caused it. I didn't really look into it a whole lot. I just know it was an issue widespread for a while there, and for some reason, maybe it was something I did in the game. I don't know, but it continues to be kind of an issue now. I have no clue how you would get around that on the Xbox, besides making sure that you have a USB plugged into it and you're, you know, copying saves over and crap. But
well, they have a similar system for your cloud saves.
Do they? Okay. Yeah. I don't mess with it on the Xbox that much.
Yeah,
so.
I've never had to.
Yeah. But that brings me into some of the quality of life improvements that they can do with this game. Like, there's a manual save button in this game. You can save anywhere. What does the button do? I don't know. It sure doesn't manually save. This game only runs off of autosaves. Okay. And yes, there is a manual save button, but it tells you when you saved. This, for some reason, this just shows you the last time the game autosaved.
It's like a Moon. What was that game we played? I think it was Slice and Dice with the save button, where it's like, yeah, we just have it here. It doesn't do anything. It autosaves after.
It has a save button in the menu, and you hit it. And it's like, by the way, we save after every move.
Exactly. And it says it's saving, and it shows you the save icon. Doesn't do anything.
I saved it. It just tosses it right in the trash. It's like, see you later.
So you have to force it to autosave, which is kind of a pain in some areas in this game. So it's like, okay, why? But luckily, too, it saves, like, there's 20 autosave, slots that it's using. So there are a lot. So if you really screw up, your chances are you can go back far enough and you're fine.
Right.
The only issue is that, like, going to the store, which is going to be my next thing. When you go into the store, it doesn't proc a save. So if you stood at the menu for 5-10 minutes trying to figure out what you wanted to do, and then you finally upgrade your stuff, and then you go into the next room and die, guess what you're doing at that store again?
That's frustrating.
Because it didn't save. That was not an issue for me. I don't think I died in this game, honestly. Okay. I was also playing on minimum security, which is easy. Sue me. I figured the horror was enough of the experience. I didn't need it to be harder.
I mean, yeah, if you're a big man, baby.
Hey, I've got something to back that up here in a minute. But anyway, so...
That you're a man, baby? Okay.
Well, the opposite. And that, I mean, yeah, I play games on easy all the time. Life is challenging enough, all right?
I love the counterpoints here. It's just like a Souls game. I play games on easy. Those two don't co-align with each other. You know that, right?
This game was like a Souls game. I just said when you're fighting things, think of it.
You got to use the mechanics.
Yeah.
It still doesn't dissipate my point. You play Souls games.
There are times that I feel like getting my teeth shoved into the back of my throat, and then that's when I turn on Sekiro and be like, yeah, I just beat 2 bosses and I'm tired of this now. And then there's times where I go back to my JRPGs. It's like, no, let's put this on easy. I want to see those numbers go up.
That's right.
Okay.
So save feature of the store. There aren't enough stores in this game, which kind of sucks because even when you do get the suit and that gives you 12 inventory slots, there are sections of this game where it's loading you down with items, like resources for you to sell, so that way you can upgrade your stuff. There was one time I had like 8 resources for me to sell, and like high value resources, and I'm sitting here looking at a health pack and some ammunition. I'm like, I need all this because I know the next room is huge, and I already see health and ammo in that room, so that's a boss fight room.
Right.
So I had to do the old-fashioned. Luckily, when you drop items in this game, they drop where God, I got tongue-tied for a moment. They drop where you're standing, and you can go pretty far away and come back and grab them. So what I did was I went into the boss room, but just far enough to put the items into the room and not initiate the counter, dropped all of my crap, ran back several hallways, grabbed all of that stuff, went back to the boss room, dropped it, ran back and grabbed the rest of the crap, went back to the boss room, dropped it, and then I picked up the crap that I wanted to keep, and then I initiated the boss fight. It's weird.
Yeah.
You either need more inventory slots, more than 12, or they need to start putting stores more readily in the world. So it's just weird quality of life stuff like that. Outside of that, though, like, combat was fine. I enjoyed it. The story was all right. Had a cool little twist at the end. You don't need to craft every gun that you get. There's the tactical pistol that I didn't make, and
so it's just like Dead Space.
Yeah,
it is, and it isn't, because you can store items, and you can't do that in this game. So, like, if you pick up a piece of crap weapon in Dead Space, you can put that in storage. That way you're not getting the ammo for that. True. Not so with this game. So, reading after I'd beaten the game, the tactical pistol is apparently, like, the worst weapon in this game. And that was one that I didn't make. Because I'm like, yeah, that has... According to the little rangefinder thing, it had really crappy damage outputs. I'm like, I'm not making that. I already got enough problems with inventory. I don't need that ammo to start showing up and taking place of other items I could get. There's an assault rifle that I could have made that I didn't make. It's like I pretty much just used the pistol that you get at the start, the skunk shotgun, upgraded that so that it was like a 4-shot, and then I had a tactical shotgun. So I just load, and they use the skunk and the tactical use 2 different shotgun ammunition. So I basically just had a stack of handgun, a stack of skunk shotgun, and a stack of riot shotgun ammo. 1 health, because that's all I needed, and then just sell everything else. And that's how I tried to keep my inventory going, and it worked out for most of the game. So don't make everything you get. You don't need it. It's crap. Outside of that, though, it was nice. To finally beat it. The game wasn't nice at all. Just beating the game was nice. It was one less thing I had to think about. Yeah. So now that I've beaten that game, I'm like, cool, what? Should I do another spooky game? Should I not do another spooky game? This one's going to be fairly short. But for PlayStation Plus this month, they added Dead Space Remake. I installed it. Yeah. Because Boone is a bad influence.
Dude, it is such a good remake.
I ain't no B. I put that thing on impossible mode.
Oh, no.
Hey, I'm just saying, if you want to get the pew-pew, that's the only way to get the pew-pew.
Exactly.
And the pew-pew makes that game really funny.
I'm going to say what I did at the start of Callisto Protocol. This game is gorgeous, and I want to play everything leading up to the point of stepping foot on the Ishimura.
That's right.
God, I hate this game in such a weird, loving way. So I own and have beaten all 3 Dead Space games on the 360. I have 100%.
Better than me.
I'm gonna say I've 100%ed Dead Space on the 360. I have all the achievements for it.
Me too. Don't brag.
I'm not. I'm just letting everyone know this isn't my first foray into this game.
Right.
My PTSD is real when it comes to this game.
No, it's one of those things though where I'm very much like you. Like, I absolutely hate the spooky. I do. But I love playing the spooky and watching the spooky because I like to be scared in a safe place.
Right.
Dude,
that's why I like to be scared. I just happen to be a pro gamer.
I was gonna say the monolith in this game has a weird call to me because I absolutely hate playing this game.
Because you're so intelligent. I see. It speaks to you because you're one of those people who are intelligent. Like Isaac, you're a smart boy. I see.
It's one of those things where it's like, even when I was playing the first game, I'm like, why am I getting all achievements for this? Like, I'm enjoying the gameplay. I hate the world it's in. Like, I hate the things I am shooting.
We're just gonna ignore the end of 3. Like, we're gonna pretend that doesn't.
3, I didn't even have that much of an issue with either. Like 2, I really liked.
The story is terrible in 3.
Yeah, but I also liked the whole co-op thing with it though, because they did something really cool with the co-op.
I think the co-op in 3 is a fantastic idea. I have never played 3 co-op.
Right.
Oh, dude,
So I never got to have that experience.
Because I played it with a buddy of mine when it came out, and having your buddy start to freak out over a headset.
Shooting stuff that you can't see?
Exactly. And you're like, what is going on? It was a cool idea. But yeah, the story was, whatever. But, so yes, I do have this started on impossible mode. I ran through the hallway, got to the plasma pistol, and I'm like, this thing is going to be the only weapon that I use besides these hands and these feet. And I open up the first door, and it almost goes horrifically wrong.
Almost straight away every time.
Back to Dead Space.
So I didn't even really notice that Isaac had a voice in this one, because he has a voice in 2 and he had a voice in 3.
Right.
Yes.
And I didn't even click. It didn't even click with me until after I'd finished the game, where I was like, "Oh yeah, Isaac didn't speak in the first one." I like it much better when he has a voice.
Mm-hmm.
I do too, but I also think they do it in such like they don't draw attention to him having a voice in the first game, and I think that's what, because it even took me a little bit to be like, "Oh yeah, he is talking," but people are also still talking at you and him like they did in the first game. So it's real easy to just kind of, he's giving his line about, okay, this is what we need to do to fix this. And you're seeing all the, data spreadsheets pop up and you're like, oh yeah, I need to do that, and that. So it is a nice little touch though. And if you're not paying attention, it is real easy to miss about him talking. And it looks like they made them older, like him and Nicole in the pictures.
They look a little bit older, yeah. But that could just be graphical fidelity because they're not pixelated squares.
I mean, maybe, true.
Right.
I don't mind him being older, but it's just, when I saw the thing in Nicole, I was like, wow, you look like you've seen some stuff already, and we didn't even start in this game yet. Right. So I took 2 hits from the first necromorph that I had to fight, which you start out with 4 bars of health, and each hit is a bar of health. So I was already I was already low. Got to the tram, talking to the other 2 people. I saved my game. I'm like, okay, cool. I need to test out how this works out with Impossible, because I remember there being system things, but I don't remember. I didn't read anything. I just wanted to get it started. The whole thing with Impossible mode is if you die, your game automatically reverts to a hard save.
Okay.
So then you don't get the achievement or trophy, whichever, for beating the game on Impossible, and you don't get the pew-pew.
Yeah.
So
if you die, I think it gives you the option of, hey, you want to restart from scratch, or you want to keep this save game and jump it down a difficulty, essentially.
And you don't have, those are your 2 options. So so what you have to do is, if it looks like you're gonna die, you need to quit and then go back in with your last save, or just don't suck. Right. So
get it together.
Yep.
We're gonna try to hop on the don't suck bandwagon and see how that goes.
Right.
I was actually doing really well. I am at the point where I have to put, I've got the stasis upgrade. I gotta pull the old tram in so we can put the new tram on.
That was the thing for me. Like, I never really used the stasis when I played it on the regular difficulty.
Yeah.
But then the second you bump her up to the higher difficulty, oh boy, does that stasis and that kinesis when you're ripping limbs off monsters, invaluable tools.
It is very noticeable that you are not getting kinesis as you normally would have if you're playing the normal version of, the original version of Dead Space, because they pushed that back a little further. You can feel it because it sucks. But while I was messing around trying to figure out, okay, what happens when you die, all this stuff. My son was sitting in here watching me. He's like, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to shut off the auto syncing right now for the cloud save, because I want to see how it all looks when it actually happens. I want to see what I'm supposed to be looking at, what's happening, and all this crap. I go running into a hallway, and there's a necromorph on the ground. And I'm like, that guy is going to pop up. I run at him, and then just because it's me, I just start swinging my arms at him, just thinking, he's not getting it for free. Like, he's got to earn it a little bit here. And I apparently stun-locked this necromorph into a wall and just killed him punching him.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, and I didn't take any damage or anything. I'm like, okay. I go into the next area, which is like this whole big catwalk area, and another necromorph pops out of the vent, just starts swinging, and I'm like, I just took that guy out too. What is going on? Third guy comes up, and I had to walk away from him so that way he would start attacking me, and they finally did and killed me, and then I saw the whole thing. But I'm like, did they buff punches or your little arm flailing and your foot stomps? Because I don't remember being able to take them out with swings.
I don't even think in the first one you could do the arm swing. I think it was only the stomps.
Oh, right.
So, I don't know, man. Maybe punching some of the earlier ones is the way to go to save on ammo. I'm going to test that out. But it was amazing to me that when I was just like, all right, I'm just going to die, and how fearless I was just running into that area, being surrounded, and then I'm just punching guys like it's nothing. And I'm like, give it like 5 more minutes and this thing is going to be scary again. This is not the mode I'm going to be playing this game.
Right.
So that's all I've done with Dead Space so far. It's just screw around in it. And I did already get the one stupid jump scare of the light shutting off and the noises happening. I'm not playing with headphones because screw that.
Smart.
Like, there's no way. So maybe I'll continue playing that. I don't know. Heart needs to heal after Callisto. Like, it just needs some time.
That's right.
So the next game that I played and also beat this week was Reynatis. Beat that game at like 22 hours, going on 23 hours. I've done most of the stuff in the game. There's only like a handful of quests that I didn't do because I was kind of at that point of no return. And I'm like, I'm not going to run back and get this thing going so that way I can do these side quests. Like, I'm just going to go fight the boss.
Yeah.
And if the boss turns out to be a problem, then maybe I'll go back. The boss was not a problem. I found a way to cheese the game, kind of, where one of the characters that you get, they have a ranged attack of like these ravens that fly around, and I have that thing like maxed out, and just sit there and spam that button, and you're just watching the health just melt away on whatever you're fighting on. It's like, great. That's how I beat the final boss. The story towards the end has a cool plot twist. There is some cool story elements that happen. I'm not going to say anything, but pretty much everything leading up to that point, the story's just like, okay,
Sure.
like, fine. But then I get to those, and I'm like, you know what? Those are okay. That's some cool stuff you got going on in the back end here. That's cool.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that they need to fix, though, if they go to make a second game, like a lot of quality of life stuff that needs to happen. It's fine for it being... I'm going to say it's fine considering this company, was it Fury or whatever that makes this? They're not known for making high-tier games. They're kind of mid-tier. But some of this stuff, like, when you lock onto an enemy and you're trying to move which enemy you're locked onto, doesn't work sometimes, or locking on sometimes doesn't work, or button presses sometimes doesn't work. So you're trying to switch from suppression mode to liberation mode, and I did remember to look and make sure what the other mode is now. You're stuck in liberation mode, you're getting attacked, and I'm sitting here trying to dodge, and your dodge windows are super short and not as accurate as when you're in suppression mode, because that's how the two modes work. So I'm like tanking all of these attacks that I shouldn't be. I'm trying to switch over to suppression mode so I can start dodging, and it won't do it. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm being attacked, fine. If that's the way you want to do it, whatever. But then there are times when I'm not being attacked that I hit the button, and it's not engaging all the time.
Right.
So, okay, this sucks. Or like when I do like the final, basically like their limit break. You build up a specific meter and you can pull off a limit break. I'll click that button, and it doesn't matter what mode you're in. When you click that button, it initiates that. And I'm sitting there clicking it, and nothing's happening. And I'm starting to take hits from a boss because I'm supposed to be doing my stupid animation right now. So why is my attack not going?
Right.
Weird, dumb stuff like that. There's also an enemy that shows up that has like a bubble shield that you have to do like these burst attacks on. And it's a huge pain. A lot of those enemies, when they start showing up towards the end of the game, when they hit you, you start to build up a bar for like, there's a status effect where it's like, when this bar fills, it literally says it. When bar fills, death. Okay. And that's what it is. You get hit enough times with that attack and that bar fills out, that character's dead. And you've got two others that you can switch with, but it's still a huge pain in the butt. There's other ones where it's like, it'll seal your abilities. So, okay, cool, I'm doing all this dodging and stuff, but I can't attack because my two abilities that I have are sealed, and you can't switch to another character because the status stays on all three characters.
Oh.
It's not just the one that you're controlling. So then you're just stuck, and you can use an item, or you can do what I did a lot of the time, and just sit there and wait it out for a couple minutes, and then it'll finally disappear, and then you can exact revenge on the stupid thing that sealed your powers.
Oh, sure.
So it's some stuff like that. Overall, though, it was fun. Definitely a lower tier game. Don't come into this game with high expectations if anyone's planning on playing this at all.
Right.
Which is kind of something I said in the beginning. I did not come in with high expectations. Those expectations were met. I have a couple gripes. That's about it. I'm fine with the purchase. I'm happy that I played it. I liked a lot of the systems that they were doing with it. Maybe one day we'll get a sequel. Maybe we won't.
Yeah.
Whatever. They did have the collaboration with The World Ends With You in here.
Oh, okay.
So you got the little pen, and you got to meet the Reapers, and they actually kept their like little design.
That's
so
fun.
They looked completely different from the rest of the world.
Right.
So that was a cool little touch to be able to play through, and you get an attack from them where you get Mr. Meow, the big giant black cat.
That's nice.
You get a spell for them, and they come in and they just blow things up. It was kind of funny to use it. So, but after doing all that, I was trying to figure out what do I want to play next, and I kind of juggled between checking out Diablo 4. And I did jump into that a little bit, but not enough to really say I did anything with it. I was just kind of checking the updates and everything that went with it. I am not planning on buying the DLC anytime soon, although a couple of people have said it seems fine.
It's really expensive, though.
Yeah, that's kind of the problem. It's like $40 for a character and then champions or companions.
Well, there's a new area too, but like I'm not deep enough into Diablo 4 to be like, yes, more Diablo 4.
And that's kind of my thing too. It's like if the companions had been part of the update, I may have considered getting into it with the new class and the new area and everything. But since it's tied to that DLC, I'm like, I'm just gonna wait until it goes on sale.
Yeah.
But I did not want to play a Diablo style game. So then I came across Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr.
Okay.
And you may be asking, besides it being a Warhammer game, what kind of game is this? Well,
I think I bought this on sale. Is this the RTS game?
No, it is a Diablo-like game.
Okay.
It was free with Games with Gold forever ago.
Forever ago.
Yeah. Which was kind of the other thing too. It's like I'm not gonna buy a new game right now. What do I currently have that I can play right now? So I installed that, and I have no clue what's going on. I'm 10 hours into the game. Don't ask me what's happening. I'm killing heretics. I've got like, what was it, 6,000? Where am I at? 6,949 confirmed kills so far.
Oh my.
Going into this game. Confirmed heretics. I am playing as a gunner, a heavy gunner. What do they call it? A Crusader heavy gunner is the class that I have. So I have a plasma rifle and a las gun that I'm using. Plasma rifle is for big targets, big single targets. Las rifle is for crowd control. And basically, the las rifle just shoots the laser, but it pierces through everything in a straight line.
Ooh.
So when you got a column of things running at you, I'm hitting everything in that column. Whereas the plasma gun does more damage, but it's more towards a singular target. And it does have an explosive one where it's like you can charge it up, hit a button, it charges up a blast, and that does like an area of effect attack. But I use it mostly for the bigger things that need more damage faster. So that is what I do with this game. I really enjoy the fact that when you load in, the whole point of this story is there's this ship called the Martyr that just shows up. It's like this giant fortress ship, disappeared 10,000 years ago. And for anyone who hasn't played Warframe, that's a drop in the bucket in the time scale. All right, people are still alive who know about that ship disappearing.
Oh, okay.
So, so that ship magically shows back up, and it's your job to get on that ship. And you get on it, things go wrong, you get back off of it.
I'll be right back. Keep chatting.
Yep. You get back off of it because for some reason its machine spirit decides it's going back into the warp, and you don't want to be on it when that happens. And then you have to search for it again. And I found it for the second time, and I've done some missions here and there on that ship, but a lot of the other missions are just, hey, here's this galactic map. Here's a planet that's got like 3 missions on it. These are what levels those maps are, do you want to take these on and get resources? Yes, I do. I show up and I blow things up for 2 minutes and then I go back home. That's this game.
I'm pretty sure I own like 7 or 8 Warhammer games through like specifically 40k games through Game Pass, games with gold, through sales, whatever the case may be, because they're giving out that license like candy on Halloween, and I like it.
I've heard someone talk about how I don't know how true it is, but how they're not as hardcore about keeping the license, sacred. And that's why we get all of these different genres of Warhammer, where it's like you got Vermintide, which is a first-person Left 4 Dead style Warhammer game, pre-40k. You've got this game, which is a Diablo game, which is really fun. You've got the RTS game that you were talking about. I don't remember the name, but I did see other people talking about it as well. So it's like there's all kinds of genre of games. The Space Marines, too, that we all currently have right now. So when you go into a map, you basically get like this little timer on the bottom that says, hey, this map's going to take you 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. So you know what you're going into to start out.
More games need that. Like, especially if they have like levels, like, hey, this is a 45-minute slog of a level, settle in. Or, hey, this is a 2-minute thing. That's one of the reasons I played Katamari, is because it's like, yo, you got 5 minutes. Roll some stuff up.
Yeah. So this thing will tell you before you accept it, hey, this is how long this mission should generally take you to complete it. There are, like I said, there is a galaxy map. So if you're in an area and you're like, I don't want to do the campaign, that's going to be like 15 minutes, and I just want to go drop it into an area and not think about it and just blow stuff up, just go back out to the map and look for a mission with a lower runtime, and then you can select that and go. You'll still get the same equipment drops and everything else. So there are also other runs that you can do. I know I wrote this one. You can find intel, which just randomly drops from enemies. And when you select it, it will put you into, I think the last one I did was like a 10-minute mission, and it's at your level. Sometimes they can be a little higher than your level. And this is just go into here, blow everything up. There's going to be like modifiers, so it's going to be slightly more difficult than you're used to. But the rewards you get from completing this, the resources, the items that you'll get and all that are worth your time doing this. I've run 2 of those things. I'm like, yep, that's really great. I've got like 5 of them that are currently in storage right now, because like I want to wait until I'm further along in this game and I'm actually starting to do a build. Because right now I'm just kind of like, hey, that piece of equipment's better than what I currently have equipped.
It has
so
a
let's
green
equip
arrow
that
instead of a red arrow.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not really doing a build right now. I'm just kind of like, oh, that's better. Let's do this. Those are not, as far as I can tell, those are tied to whatever your level is currently at. So you can save them. You don't have to use them as soon as you get them. There is another mission that I just unlocked. There's like a weekly mission, and I wrote it down. Priority assignment sequences. Every week, it resets, and you get like 3 of these, and they're completely random, and they've got their own little story behind them. And I just played one of them for the first time today, and basically it tells you, hey, we just found out about this group of heretics. We need you to go in here and take care of them. But before you do that, this is some backstory for what's happening, the area they're in, everything around them. And now you have 3 choices on how you want to go about doing this. And it doesn't really make a difference. Some of it does, because the whole point is there's 2 bars on the top, and one is your success rate, and one is the damage, the local damage that could be happening. So the one that I was given this week that I did was, they found a group of heretics. How do I want to track them down? And I chose, there's like some currency tied to this. I'm not exactly sure how I earned more, or even where, how many I started with. But the first one, I had 3 choices, and one of the choices was hire some local mercenaries to look into it. Selected that. Story continued, and it says, hey, you happen to enlist the help of a local bounty hunter who happened to find one of these heretics. He knocked him unconscious, stuck a tracker in them, and then set them loose, and he's led us to their hideout.
Oh, interesting.
And then my little mission success rate bar jumped from, yeah, this isn't happening, to, yeah, it's looking like this could happen now.
Oh.
And my excessive destruction meter went down just a little smidge. It's like, all right, cool. So then, once it tells you that, you drop down into a level, you go in there, and it's just like any of the other levels. You just blow up anything that moves.
Mm.
And then, once you complete that, you jump into the next one. And it's like, hey, we discovered while you were down there mopping things up that these two highly influential families were supporting these heretics, but not directly, indirectly. It was someone very, very far down, their chain of command that knew what was happening, and they just happened to be indirectly helping them. What do you want to do about it? And you have a choice of choosing the pious option of the two, or like this rogue option of the two. And the pious option is, doesn't matter, all heretics need to die. This will prove an example. Or the rogue option being, well, they didn't know. This will destabilize the area. This will lower the tiths that the emperor can, get from this area. So we'll let them go with stipulations, and they're going to use their resources to help us with this.
Oh, interesting.
And that was the option that I chose, and that jumped me from this mission could be happening to, yeah, this mission's pretty much going to be successful. And my little damage meter of local damages that could be happening went down a little bit more. Get dropped down. It's another area of, okay, kill all these guys on this map, bring you back up, and then I get a good job, Inquisitor. You did everything great. Everything was fine. Here's your stuff till next time.
Right.
kind of thing. Yeah. So I have 2 more of these missions that I can do now before it resets. I think it resets tonight. It seems like every Sunday night this kind of thing resets. So I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool that you get. And there are so many systems happening right now in this game. I'm not joking when I say, yes, I've been playing it for 10 hours. Don't ask me what's happening.
Right.
I don't know.
There's a lot happening.
That's lore, that's systems, that's I show up, things move, I kill it. That's what's happening right now, and I'm really enjoying it. So it looks like there might be a rogue and a pious skill tree option for my Crusader.
Jeez.
I don't know if it's tied to the thing that I just did, or if there are other things that could be happening in the background that could lead me to this. I have no clue. But I'm here for it. The skill trees with this game, because of the job class that I picked, you get like a handful. I think there was like 2 or 3 of the skill trees that are automatically unlocked. And one of them was like range, so it was like these little things where it's like, oh, increase range by range damage by 3%, increase, knocking back or slowing down or poisoning things, depending on the equipment you have, kind of thing. And as you continue playing, you start to unlock other trees just by playing the game. Like the support class I unlocked, I don't even remember what I did, but it tells you specifically on each one, hey, do this, it will unlock this skill tree, and then you can start putting points into it if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to. Since I'm purely running as range, I don't have any melee. I've unlocked a melee section of the skill tree. I'm not touching that because I don't have melee weapons and I don't intend to use them for this class. There is a melee class that you can pick if you want it. That's just not what I'm doing right now. So I am just going to continue to screw around with this game. There is a ton of DLC for this game that, again, it's $40. However, unlike the Diablo 4 thing, this is literally a ton of DLC. I don't know how expansive it gets. Everyone that I was reading online, it's like even before the DLC, this thing's got like a 300-hour, end game thing that you could do if you really wanted to. I don't know if I'm going to get that deep into it, but there's, what was the other thing I was going to bring up? I don't remember now.
Oh, wow. This developer is the same one that made the Van Helsing Diablo-style games. I had no idea. Yep. Wow. Okay. So they've got some pedigree here.
Yeah, and I believe, looking into this, I believe this was an Xbox One and a PC release. There is not a current gen remake of this. There is some weird graphical issues where it's like I switch a weapon and you see like the weapon stretch out across the screen as it's being switched out, you know, kind of thing. You get hung up on weird parts of the environment that there isn't anything there.
Yeah, the IGDB says the PS5 and Series console version came out in 2022, almost exactly 2 years ago. So weird.
There is also some weird text, like weird usage of words in the text. Like sometimes there's a word in there. It's like, why is that word there?
Right.
Sometimes sometimes like there's a double up on a word. Or it'll say like unavailable, and then the sentence continues, kind of thing.
Right.
So some weirdness happening with that. A couple people that I'd seen online had also said if you buy and install the DLC, you're going to see a lot more of that as well.
Oh, okay.
So there's some weirdness with that. It doesn't bother me. I'm used to playing games that usually have rough translations anyway. Yeah. So I just noticed it every once in a while where it's like, wait a minute, that word is in there like 3 times. Why am I missing this? Or no, it's the game. They messed that up. So, but I am having an absolute blast with this game. I'm really enjoying it. So they also, one thing that I just discovered today, and this will be the last thing I touch on with this game, is that it does have seasons, and it currently has 5 seasons, and you can go in and you can pick season 1 and start playing it.
Or you can Halo way.
Yep, or you can pick season 3 right now, or you can pick season 5 right now.
That's
or
cool.
you can pick 5 and go backwards if you want.
Right.
I might do that with the other classes in this game just to check those out and run them through the season. Because then you just get like, you know, the stupid little glimmer unlocks and stuff like that. It's not anything that's really gonna, you know, make you powerful or anything. It's just to make you look cooler. So, but once you complete the season, your character that you use for that reverts back to a normal character instead of a seasonal character.
Oh, sure.
So you can start to use that in other games as well. So that might be something I check out later.
Yeah.
But it's just been a lot of dumb fun.
That's cool.
There's a lot of things happening. I still don't even know, looking at the video you have up, the little the red, yellow, and green bar. For the longest time, I didn't know what that is, what that does.
It looks like your health bar in the UI.
Yeah, that's not your health bar. The red giant like eye underneath that's your health bar.
Oh, okay. Of course.
That colored bar is apparently your suppression bar. And from what very, very minimal reading I have done, I believe when that thing is maxed, you take less damage as like a shield. But as that disappears, you start to take more damage, and it does regenerate on its own. But I didn't realize that I thought that the red section was my health. I'm like, why can't I heal that last section?
Right.
Like, it's not letting me heal right now. That's just on me. There's a lot to read in this game.
Yeah.
There is a lot of voiceover as well, surprisingly, but it's just a lot going on and a lot to take in because this game's been out forever. So it's just been great.
Nice.
My last game that I have to play, or I'm sorry, the last game I have to talk about is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Yes.
I am not well, I don't feel like I'm terribly far into this. My son is like, no, you've actually put in quite a bit of time on this one. I have just gotten the chakrams, and I've met the blacksmith.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at in this game. I tried playing it this morning. I did not sleep very well last night, and this was not the game to start up where it's like, learn to parry. And I'm like, how about we don't?
Yeah,
I am too tired for this right now. Yeah, it's like I just want to hit things. And then it's like, oh, here's a bow. Let's do some platforming where you have to use the bow to open up platforms for minimal, and then you do wall. I was like, I am too tired for this right now.
You're asking me to do 4 things at once, and I cannot do that.
Yeah, but I got it done. So, I don't have a whole lot more to say on this right now. It is fun. I enjoy just the art style of this game is really nice looking.
Yeah.
The story so far, I'm not up to date on Prince of Persia. I think the last one I played was Twin Princes? Was that what it was called?
This is a brand new one, so you don't have to know.
I vaguely remembered what happened in that game,
right.
Let alone if it's tied to this, I'm not going to really remember.
Right.
I'm just in it because I found it for $25. It's a Metroidvania. I haven't really gotten into one of those. I played a little bit of Ender Lilies. That wasn't really catching me right now.
Right.
So I was like, let me give this a go. And this is 100% a platforming Metroidvania game that my mind was just not ready to keep up with this early in the morning. But
yeah.
I'm looking forward to playing more. I'm looking forward to finding more time shards so that way I can start upgrading stuff. I've already upgraded I can hold 2 potions now, and they already heal me more than they could at the start. And I already have 4 amulet slots open. Okay. And I'm really liking the amulet thing so far, that you can have more than one equipped, and you can continue to upgrade how many. It looks like you can equip quite a few of them, because it's showing me a pretty empty necklace that my guy's wearing right now. So
you eventually can get quite a few in there. It's a cool system. It reminds me a lot of Hollow Knight's charm system, where it's like some of them take up more slots, and which means they're more powerful, but you can have more slots as you go further.
How many could you have in Hollow Knight? Because I felt like you could only have like a handful of those too.
Yeah, it was a couple eventually, but it still wasn't like you got 25 equipped.
Yeah,
nothing like that.
Whatever. Hollow Knight is still a fun game too. I just haven't gone back to beating that because screw those 3 kings or whatever they were called, the 3 mantis things.
Yep. Yeah.
That's been a fun fight.
Yeah. I like the Lost Crown.
Don't insult the Mantis Lords.
Yes, the Mantis Lords.
I will insult them to their faces because I will beat them one day. It's just not going to be today.
Yeah, I liked Lost Crown a lot. I'm hoping people don't forget about this when it comes to game of the year time, because it came out in January. So, and this year's been packed.
I've put this on my list of games to not forget about eventually. So, that's all I've been playing. However, I do have one more thing to bring up, because my son got a PS5 Slim now.
Congratulations.
He saved up a ton of allowance for that thing, and we happened to get it on sale. We set that thing up for him. It was actually less. I actually don't remember the PS5 when I got mine being that bad, but this seemed even less painless somehow.
Nice.
And now he's been playing all the games that he's been looking forward to, like the Metal Gear Solid collection.
Oh, right.
He's already beaten 1 and 2.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wait, are we talking OG 1 and 2 or Solid 1 and 2?
OG 1. Well, I'm sorry. Solids.
Okay, Solid 1 and 2.
But the PS1 version that came with the collector's volume that came out recently.
Right.
Which he was not a fan of those graphics. I'm like, well, that is too bad, because I also love the Twin Snake graphics, but you are playing the PS1 version and you will like it.
You can play Twin Snakes too, but like it's a different game.
Twin Snake should be on that. Twin Snake should be.
You should have the option of either one.
Yeah, it'll probably be on the second one.
So
we'll see if 4 makes it onto the second one.
Well, there's some weird grumblings about 4 right now. All of a sudden,
there was a fun interview with some people at Konami a couple weeks ago about saying, like, if we're gonna do Collection 2, which, why would we name it Collection 1 if we're not gonna do Collection 2? Wink. It would sure be a really great place to put Metal Gear Solid 4, wouldn't it? Wink, 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 wink. So,
and
the one I haven't played.
Right.
Maybe add the Acid series on there. Just saying.
I would like that to happen. Yeah, Acid 1 and 2.
So, I told him, since he's all excited about the PS5 and he's been playing a bunch of other things, send me a text message of a quick recap of what you think of 1 and 2.
Oh, sure.
And this is what he sent me, and I haven't pre-read this. Okay. So we're gonna see how this goes. So.
Bleep, 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 bleep,
no,
bleep,
he is not that way. I'm just talking about. Yeah. I have a story for that real quick too. But anyway, so I enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 because of the weird mix of espionage, supernatural elements, and anime moments, and the music. Another thing is the gameplay.
Fair.
He's set for every single Metal Gear Solid game. Then
Yeah, he's in it.
Wait till he gets the whale on fire.
That's right.
Slice.
This is because of the different ways you can go about playing the game. You can go guns a-blazing and kill everyone you see, or you can play it as stealthy as you want. And then I told him about my stories of getting the stealth camo and putting C4 on the back of everyone when they came to use the bathroom.
Yep.
Yeah. These games are as fun as they are unique. I've enjoyed the entertaining boss battles and the long cut scenes, and are excited to play the rest. He did put the rest of the games.
Nice.
So, yeah,
he's in. But he's in for the Kojima weirdness.
100%. He really wanted to play 3 first, and I told him no. You need to play 1 and 2. Yeah,
I know what
then
you're going for,
3.
but it doesn't. Shouldn't work like that.
And then you can check out Ground Zeroes.
Yeah.
And then we can check out maybe 5, depending on how everything else goes.
That's right.
But yeah, the whole thing with the Lalilulelo, I was jokingly telling him about that because he's like, there's like a lot of weird names and things that are used, and I'm like, yeah, wait. Just you wait, okay? And then I told him that, and my wife is in our bedroom, and she yells out, there has to be an easier way to say that. And I'm like, that is the easier way. Do you want me to give you the breakdown right now on how this all connects?
You don't know about the Patriots?
Sons of Patriots. And,
right.
Yeah. She's like, no, I'm good.
George Sears was the president. Come on.
He was so excited to finally find out about Solidus and the president of America and fighting on top of a Rex, or no,
the Capitol building.
It was Ray. It was Ray in that one, yeah. But yeah, he had a lot of fun.
Those games are great.
That's all that's going on in this household. I really want to start playing Metal Gear again.
Yeah, that collection is really good. It's a good collection of stuff.
I bought it with the promise and the intention of replaying them again. I don't know when, but one day.
Right. Don't forget in MGS1 to set up your other Konami games save data.
He did do that too.
Okay, good.
Because he was talking about how the certain boss has a funny way of saying Suikoden.
Before anyone knew how to pronounce it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I told him too. I was like, yeah, that was a Western translation of, I don't know, there's a bunch of letters here. Let's just throw it together. Yeah, that's all that's been happening in this household. So, what have you been playing, Boston?
I've got 2 games here this week. First up, Balatro. I finally have gotten one of the 2 annoying trophies out of the way. So there's I'm separating the annoying and the difficult ones out. So
2?
Yeah. So the difficult ones are like complete one on the gold stake, complete all the gold stakes, complete all the challenges. Not anywhere closer to those. Those are the difficult ones. The first annoying one that I've gotten, because I only have 4 more trophies except for the platinum. I finally played a flush with 5 wild cards. And I'll get to the other annoying one here in a minute. That was really annoying. That was basically, I'm going to play a deck on the easiest difficulty and just kind of keep playing until I get that perfect combination of spectral cards and arcana cards, and everything is going to kind of come together exactly at the right time in the right way. So finally got that done. That was super annoying. I think that one only has like 2.9, 3 point something % people have that trophy because it's super annoying. The other one I'm working on right now is the other annoying trophy, which is thinning my deck down to 20 cards or less. I've gotten so close this past week. I've gotten to 25, and then this morning I got to 23. And both runs I couldn't make it to the end for various reasons. The one this morning I got to 23, and I just didn't have enough essentially like multipliers to get further enough to be able to thin my deck down a little bit more. And then when I got to the 25 card one, I had to finish that run. I lost that run because I didn't have any more cards in my deck to pull. And the thing I always forget about Balatro is you start off with 52 cards, or if you're playing I'm playing the Abandoned deck, which starts with 40 cards because it gets rid of all the face cards. When you run out of cards on your pile, you're done. It's not just like, oh, I'm shuffling them back to the pile, let's start back over. No, you ran out of cards. You lose that run. I was like,
so you trimmed a little too hard.
It's like I was so close to getting this super annoying one. I just okay. And like I've already done all the other annoying ones, like break 2 glass cards in the same hand and stuff like that. Like those are the easy ones, but now I'm kind of down to the super annoying ones. And then I'll move on to the really hard ones, which is complete all the decks on Gold Stake and complete all the challenges, which I don't want to do because the last challenge is called Jokerless, where you have literally 0 jokers and no ability to gain any at all for any means. I don't want to do that.
Okay, yeah, no.
That sounds too hard. And then, of course, the Completionist Plus is the real, like, grumble one, which is get a gold stamp on every single joker in the game, which means you need to use that joker to beat a run on Gold Stake difficulty, which that's a lot of Balatro, man. So maybe someday, but very slowly. But having fun playing Balatro again. I kind of need, with all the other stuff that I'm playing, I kind of need a game, you know, like you were talking about with, like, trying to play a Diablo game. I need, or like Moon was talking about with a Katamari, I need that kind of like wind down game of, I know how to play this, there's no timing, there's no like first person shooting, I'm going to sit here, I'm going to play Balatro, which I can play a hand and then walk away for 15 minutes to go do something, and then I'll come back and, you know, my team isn't going to get mad at me or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, that's what Balatro has been really good for.
You're not trying to be angle correct on a parry, so that way you can beat this boss.
Yeah. I'm doing hard stuff in Balatro, but even so, it's not like...
It's not timed. Like,
right.
You have a moment to sit there and think on it.
And my team isn't relying on me or anything. Like, it's nothing like that. So, Balatro, still great. Keep forgetting it came out this year. My only other game this week is Destiny 2. Episode 2 Revenant started this past week.
Can I also say real quick too, my son is super happy at how fast Destiny 2 loads up now.
Oh yeah, because was he playing on PS4 before?
Yeah, not even my Pro. My wife had the Pro. He was playing
like
on my original PS4.
Look at all the stuff I can do. Whee!
It was like walk away, make a sandwich, eat the sandwich, and you can finally select your character.
I'm in the tower. Hooray! So I talked about this a while ago, and I'll refresh people's memories because it kind of matters here. When Bungie put out episode 1, every act was 3 weeks, and there was a new story beat every week, and then it was 3 weeks off. And then you kind of repeated that for Act 2, and you repeated that for Act 3. With Revenant, they have taken each act, and they're delivering the whole thing week 1. So as soon as episode 2 launched, Act 1 just dropped all at once. And same with Act 2 when that comes in 6 weeks or whatever, and same thing with Act 3 when it comes, I don't know, whenever the hell that comes out. This has been really interesting because the Destiny community at large has really said, oh, we hate time gating. This is the thing they always complain about. Oh, time gating. I wish I could just play the whole thing all at once. Well, they got that, and they find out that it takes about an hour to complete. So,
like, oh, there's not enough content. It's like it's the same amount of content spread over a season. That's what happens when you binge watch whatever.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah. So it's been really interesting because I think when Bungie has moved away from the weekly thing, you can finish Act 1's story in an hour. If you're moving really slowly, it's 90 minutes. But at that point, the story's over until Act 2. But what I think is really interesting is it's over that fast because they have taken out all of the busy work. It's not like, oh, starting week 2, oh, Ido needs you to run a bunch more of the brand new activity. Go in there and do a run or two and collect some MacGuffins for her, or whatever. That stuff's gone. So it's just a lot of like, go run this mission. It's kind of your story intro mission. Go talk to a couple of people in this one area. There's like the Fallen, the Elixni have a little bit of an area in the last city. So it's kind of the area underneath the tower. So they have a little kind of a couple of buildings that they've taken over, and they're kind of running this episode's activities out of. Talk to a couple of people. It's not like go here and then fly to somewhere else and then fly back and fly to here. It's just, hey, these two people are kind of across the room from each other. Talk to them a couple of times and get the seasonal story, the episodic story. And then when that's done, you're everything is open. You can just go do all of the episodic stuff at that point, which I kind of appreciate, because you get this big dump of story. You get like 1 or 2 kind of cool missions. I'm working towards an additional mission that I'll get to here in a minute. But like I'm already largely kind of done with the Act 1 stuff, and I wish it was a little bit longer, because an hour for 6 weeks feels pretty thin, but that's not the only thing that you're doing in Act 1. So when I realized what the kind of the main mechanics are of the thing you're interacting with in the act, I feel a little bit better about it. But there was definitely a moment of like, I finished a mission, I talked to somebody and it said Act 1 complete, and I was like, oh no, I did that one in one sitting. Oh, okay, great. But there are 2 other things that they introduced. So I talked a while ago, before the final shape came out, about Onslaught, and that's their wave-based mode where you had the kind of like tower defense stuff. You're setting up, trip lines, and you had turrets and decoys and all that stuff. There's now Onslaught Salvation, which is their new version of Onslaught, and it takes place on a couple of additional maps. It's like there's one old Gambit map they brought back, one PvP map, and then like 2, I think there's 4 of them, if not 3. They're like open world maps. So it's like, this one's on Europa, this one's on a different planet. And there are new enemy factions you're fighting. There are new bosses you can fight. There's new mechanics. There's new of the things you're building. So like there's a stasis tripwire now that slows enemies that go through it. There's a like a minigun thing you can sit in and then like operate the kind of turret there. There's like a Gears of War style like a airstrike sort of thing. So it even does that thing where like the ring closes and that shoots a laser from space.
Nice. Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah, exactly. Hammer of Dawn. So it does that stuff. And you're still defending the ADU, that thing where you're throwing the like repair balls in it. So it's pretty fun. It's neat to see them introduce more, like stick with an activity they had from before, because usually it's, here's a brand new season, here's a brand new episode, here's the thing, like 1 or 2 activities you're gonna do, and as soon as we're done with that, we're just throwing them to the side. You can do them whatever, but no one's running them. So it's neat to see them come back and reinvest in something they've had before that the community has really liked, because the Onslaught has done really well. Less people run it now, largely because there aren't a lot of people playing Destiny right now, but the population has sort of decreased for that. But so it's interesting to see people running this new version of Onslaught.
I can't believe they've never added like a forge mode for the multiplayer stuff. Like what
Yeah,
they used to do for Halo. Like nothing too complicated
they've
because I don't know how
gotten
in depth you guys can get, but
yeah, they've gotten a little close to that with you can set a bunch of different variables for private matches for PvP. So you can do some kind of wacky stuff in there, but nothing. I mean,
not like a
look,
map editor
not a
or
lot of people
anything.
are working
Yeah,
on Destiny right now from Bungie's
I know.
standpoint. So like, we're
But that's something that I was surprised that wasn't in Destiny 1 even,
right,
considering that it was Bungie who had it in their Halo games to
right.
begin with.
I think a lot
But
of Destiny has largely been, hey, let's try to keep the bus on the road for
yeah,
a lot of the last 10 years, which is kind of scary. Um, but the other system that they have in this episode is called tonics. And basically, you're gathering materials, sort of how you would do with like a seasonal activity, like the Halloween one or the Christmas one or the spring one. You're gathering materials by defeating enemies or completing just like almost any activity in the game. And you're combining those into tonics that give either your character bonuses or you get bonus loot from completing a specific activity. So the interesting thing is when you use one that gives your character a bonus, they improve the benefits of something that you've unlocked in your episode artifact. So like that's the thing you get every episode. Every once in a while you get an unlock there, and it gives your character some sort of large benefit that goes away at the end of the episode. And they've been doing this for quite a while. So, you know, if you get X benefit from obtaining this artifact slot, you can take a tonic that maybe triples that effect, or the effect lasts for 4 times as long, something like that. And then the tonics for loot are really interesting because you're essentially making a whole bunch of tonics, and you can hold a ton of them at once. So it's not just, I made one, I have to drink it, it lasts 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, depending on the
yeah.
rarity. Those will be like, hey, if you finish a match of Onslaught, or like you're playing a match of Onslaught, while you've this tonics timer is ticking down, you're just getting guns that are in the world loot pool. So it's kind of guns that drop from anywhere. Or you're getting onslaught weapons while you're out and just killing enemies in any activity across the solar system. Or you're getting high stat rolls of armor from this episode and stuff like that. So you can, it's an interesting way of being able to focus the drops that you're getting, which we've had in other activities before, but it's a lot clearer about you're going to get this type of weapon from this pool from this activity. So it's very specific. Or like one tonic I just unlocked is if you're running any activity completion, you'll get an energy weapon from the loot pool. So if there's something that uses is in the energy slot that you really want, you now have an option to kind of focus it a little bit more distinctly. So
Cool.
it's kind of a cool system, but it's very... you'll be surprised. A new Destiny system is very confusing to understand when it launches. So it was a lot of like, cool, I have like 5 tonics, and they seem kind of weak. Like, what am I doing? And it turns out the more tonics you create, you get higher rarity. So you start with the green ones, you make a bunch of those, you get a blue one, make a bunch of those, get a purple one, etc. And the higher rarity ones last for longer and give you better benefits. It's like, oh, okay, cool. So now I have a reason to run more seasonal activities to get these materials, to make these tonics, to get better ones that last longer, give you better benefits and stuff like that. So it was a confusing first day of going and being like, all right, yeah, this story's pretty cool. I'm doing some pretty cool stuff. Oh, it's over. Okay, that's now what do I do? Like, I can run this activity for a bit, but I kind of don't need a lot of new guns. So,
yeah,
am I done at this point, I guess? There's also a little bit of a twist here, too, because Destiny 2 has had their crafting system in for a while. The red border weapons drop. It's the same icon, but it has a red border around it. You dismantle those, it gets you a percentage of the way to the weapon pattern. You can't craft any of these seasonal weapons from this season. Bungie's trying that for the first time because most people don't interact with any of the loot drops they get, because why would I when I can just craft my perfect roll here after I've dismantled 5 of them? I'm just going to go do that. So, like, literally any gun you get, you automatically dismantle it because it doesn't matter. It's not going to be my perfect roll. I'm just going to go craft that in a week or two.
Also, like, you get so much, at least the last time I played it, you get, like, a ton of junk. So it kind of feels like you should just be dismantling them unless you happen to find something that's better than what you're running with that fits your playstyle.
And it's been so funny to see the Destiny community kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth here, being like, I can't believe they took away our ability to craft this stuff in this season. And it's like, yeah, but most of the seasonal guns, for anybody that's been playing for a considerable amount of time, you already have the stuff that you like that fits into your build, that is like the perfect role for you. Even if you didn't craft it, you've eventually kind of found something just through RNG that is really good for you or your build or your playstyle or preferences or whatever. So seasonal weapons or episodic weapons that drop, typically you're kind of like, yeah, but I already have one of those that I use that I like. I don't need this new one because I have this thing from before. And for most players that have been playing for a while, those guns aren't great. They're really good for people that are starting to play the game, or they're returning after a long time, because you get a lot of rolls just through doing story missions. They'll give you like 1 or 2 rolls out of hand. You're going to get them as the primary reward for the episodic or seasonal activity. You're just going to be buried under a bunch of loot. So a lot of longer term Destiny players are like, well, those guns are garbage anyways. It's like, well, you're not going to craft them. Like, they're not for you, and that's fine. Like, that for me, like the hardcore PvP stuff, I'm not going to get those weapons because I suck. So like, those guns aren't for me. Like, and I can recognize that. So it's been interesting seeing the Destiny community kind of talking on both sides of the mouth again, of like, well, of course I want to craft these weapons. Why wouldn't I? They're garbage anyway. It's like, wait, what? Those are opposites? And people are like, but I want to have the pattern so I can craft them and check those check marks. And it's like, bro, you need to find another game to play. Then if you're just
all
playing
about filling the bars, Boston. You know
and look,
this.
I'm there too. Like, I'm filling a bunch of bars and I'm filling a bunch of weapon patterns, and I would collect all the patterns every season, but I'd never make them because I have my guns from 5 seasons ago that has the perfect roll for my build or my preference or whatever. So it's like, it's really funny. And Bungie has come out saying like if you're a player that is playing later, or you didn't play this episode, or you didn't get the role you really wanted, there will be a crafting catch-up mechanic eventually at a later time down the road. So, these weapons that are dropping in this episode, maybe, let's say, they haven't said, but let's say maybe a year or 2 later, they're going to be added to some sort of pool. They'll have the crafting schematics, and you can do those eventually at some point if you missed them or whatever. So if you really care about crafting them, you can later. But if you're arguing about it on Reddit, you already have your God roll weapons anyways. So, like, shut up about it. So
collect them all.
It's been interesting.
That's why I still have that very first assault rifle you get, that 45 attack damage common rifle sitting in my vault.
You got your Kavastov in your rifle, in your vault.
And I like to pull it out every once in a while and be like, look at how this does no damage. And then I put it back in the vault.
Yep. So it's been interesting to see Bungie giving players what they wanted and what they've been asking for, because isn't, the monkey's paw is really curling on a lot of the stuff. A lot of people are saying like, oh, I really wanted to get, like, I wanted the loot chase to be back. Crafting has destroyed the loot chase. Well, get to work. Like, they got rid of crafting for these seasons. Go run Onslaught Salvation. That's where your weapons are coming from. Get to loot chasing, man. And people are like, well, I didn't mean like that. And it's like, well, that's what you said. So they're giving you what you wanted, and now you're realizing maybe that's not what I wanted. So I'm having a lot of fun. I'm kind of happy that this act isn't as in depth as a bunch of other stuff, because that gives me more opportunities to go play other stuff. Like, we have a deluge of JRPGs that are happening, especially this month. So like it's kind of freeing me up to do a bunch of other stuff. There's also a brand new dungeon that just dropped 2 days ago. I haven't run that at all. I haven't had the time to get a group for that. Seems really cool. I have no opinion personally about that yet. So Destiny 2 continues to be Destiny 2. I know it's very surprising. But that's all I'm playing this week. Let's take a break.
Yeah. I'm going to step out for a moment.
Okie doke. Let's check the news stories real quick.
It is getting warm in here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's only 80 in here. It's not that bad yet.
How dare you miss the most important news story, Boston?
Which is?
Jedi Knights fighting game from when we were children is coming. The remaster is coming out.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Hold on, I'll find the name of it.
Was it Star Wars Jedi Knight 2? Or Masters of Terrascate?
It's Jedi Power Battles, the side-scrolling beat-em-up from like the PlayStation 1 era. Uh-huh.
What the hell is
I played
this game?
so much of this game. Spoiler, it's Streets of Rage with Jedi, dude.
That's cool. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up here on stream.
So good. Like, it's gonna remaster, and I hate how excited I am for it, because it's so terrible and hilarious at the same time.
This is the one I saw people being like, I was excited, and then I saw Aspire, and now I'm not excited. And it's like, bro, be cool. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need
Who
to be
cares? Yeah. This game is the reason I know who Plo Koon is.
Oh, okay.
Before, like, the extended universe.
Yeah, this is in Star Wars Episode 1 Jedi Power Battles.
Uh-huh. Exactly what you think it is. It's literally Streets of Rage.
Yeah, I definitely did not play this when it came out, but this looks like a game that I probably would have played a lot of as a kid.
I played so much of this game.
Let's go.
Uh-huh. Qui-Gon's in it too. Guess who I always played as?
That's right.
Qui-Gon.
That's right.
AKA the best Jedi. Don't at me. I don't care.
I like that more companies are doing like gentle remasters of stuff like this. Like I want more. Like, remember that licensed PS1 Star Wars game you loved? We're bringing it back. Like, it's $10.
Everybody lost their mind when the remake of Pod Racers was announced.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, I'm sorry, Jedi Power Battles was a much better game.
Oh, for sure.
Like, how is it not getting the same amount of, of love?
Yeah.
Also, you did miss a release. MechWarrior 5 Clans is coming out this week.
We talked about that a couple of weeks ago, and it looks like it got delayed. And I didn't put it in the releases because I still don't think it's going to come out. So
apparently it's coming out on Thursday. So
allegedly.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah.
So I had to go check up on my wife too and be like, "Are you still alive?" Or
she's itching for the Sims. Like, are you done? Are you almost done? Are you done? You almost done? The mods call to me.
Oh, and it's probably too late by now, but you can play Brutal Legend with Tim Schafer this weekend to get the 6 Degrees of Schafer achievement, which is the achievement to play with or play with a dev or play with somebody who has played with him.
That's right. I forgot about those viral achievements back then.
Yeah, my least favorite kind of achievement.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, you guys ready?
Sure.
All right. Hold on. I gotta close out that game. There we go. All right. Let's get started in 3, 2, 1. Let's talk about the 45 releases coming out for the week of October 14th, 2024. Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition. Comes out on PS5.
It's the remaster of a remaster.
Yeah, comes out on the PS5 and Series consoles. I just wanted to say Definitive Edition again, because it's dumb. And I love
best
it.
Get a free upgrade for this.
Oh, really? That's good. Darksiders 2 is great.
I don't know if I do. I better do it.
Yeah.
I better get it.
Darksiders
2 is good.
Yeah, that game was
It's
good.
no Darksiders 1.
That game was really good.
Yes.
Yeah. Next up, Drova Forsaken Kin comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, Switch, PC, and Linux. It's a really interesting. They say it's a role-playing game inspired by classic role-playing games. They wanted to make a kind of challenging role-playing hack and slash sort of pixel art isometric thing that looks pretty neat. I get the impression from watching a bunch of trailers on this that this is going to be pretty difficult. So if you're looking for something kind of a little bit on the more challenging side, Drova seems like it might be kind of cool. So something I'm gonna definitely, as we talked about in the last segment, definitely not in the mood for something a little bit more challenging. So maybe I'll put this on the list. Just Dance 2025 edition comes out PS5, Series consoles, and Switch. That's it. I'm kind of surprised that is not coming out on the previous gen consoles, because that seemed to be the thing for, I don't know, the 15 years these games came out on the Wii, well after.
I was gonna say, where's my Wii release? Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta...
What are those old people's homes going to do without it?
That's right. So, this seems interesting. It seems to still be the same game it has been for a while. I remember, I think it was last year's one or the 2023's one where they were trying to make the Just Dance kind of like a platform. And I haven't really heard anything about that since then. So I was trying to look at seeing what that was in prep for this, and I couldn't find too much about that. So I'm not sure if that's still running or if they abandoned that or what. So interesting. Neva, as how I'm going to assume this is pronounced, comes out on PS4, PS5, Series consoles, Switch, PC, and OS X. This is from the developers of Gris or Gree, however you pronounce that one either. This is the you've seen the woman with the giant wolf that is following her around. There's no way this game isn't super sad, right? It feels like this is definitely one of those games where it's like, oh yeah, this wolf dies at the end, right? Or there's some harrowing sequence where the wolf almost dies, and like they pull a Kingdom Hearts 2 where it's like, you killed Donald? Like, geez, this game's going hard.
Maybe it's just a Princess Mononoke where it has nothing to do with the wolf but the forest.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. So I feel like this game has been coming out for a couple of years at this point. So it seems like it's finally coming out this week, and I will wait to see if it is as emotionally destructive as I suspect it is. But I will save my emotions for the Life is Strange double exposure that's coming out in a couple of weeks. I'll destroy myself then.
No, is that soon?
October 29th, Moon.
Yeah.
Yep. Max Caulfield is back, Moon.
And then you can do a double feature.
That's
Beat that, come to this.
That's right. Get all your crying out.
Boston.
Yeah.
Yes.
I hate to suggest this. Do we have a November Game Club game?
No. I think we will pretty soon, though. A wink. Yeah.
I'm just saying, we covered a lot of them for that show, and we both want to desperately play it.
I know Musum and I are both picking it up day one, so...
Oh, well, there we go.
Sealed
Decision made.
Boom. Put the TVGP stamp on it. Anyways, Neva's coming out this week.
Someone sent Musum a text.
That's right. Neva's coming out this week. Check it out. Nico DeRico, The Magical World, comes out PS5, Series consoles, and Switch. This is probably the most blue sky platformer I have seen in a really long time. We talked about this on Pup. There's a brand new
He
episode.
says while the Kung Fu Panda scary person is on screen.
That's right. There's a brand new episode of Pup RPG Love out, by the way. This looks very much like we've been talking about it, and we talked about it on Pup this past week about I'm doing it myself games, of just like nobody's made a Star Fox, I'm doing it myself. This seems like about 3 of those where it's like nobody's making Rayman, nobody's really making.
It looks like Lion King too.
Yeah, like Lion King, Donkey Kong Country, and Crash Bandicoot. If you took all of those and just kind of put them all in a pot together, that's what Nico Dorico is. It looks pretty cool. I gotta say, we don't get a lot of these like anthropomorphic kind of character platformer games anymore.
Because the internet's gonna make it weird.
The internet makes it weird of anything, including like women that have jaws. So like,
True.
I don't have to worry about the internet making things weird, but I'm picking up what you're putting down. So I don't know. That seems cool. This seems like a cool, fun, probably lighthearted platformer to keep an eye on.
Like just like the most hardcore platformer ever.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering if it turns into whatever the last Crash Bandicoot game was. I think it was 4. Turned out to be like the meanest, most precise platformer you've ever played in your life. So.
No. Crash Bandicoot has always been the meanest, nastiest platformers.
Yeah, but like not immediately. They usually try to be like World 2 is where we're getting you.
For completionists, they were always the sicko mode game.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Next game here is 8-Bit Adventures 2. Comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series consoles, and Switch. Someone is making like a very true-to-life 8/early 16-bit character JRPG that looks a lot like, the kind of battle system you would have in like a Phantasy Star with like the font from Shining Force, that sort of thing. So looks cool. I think if you're looking for something, there's been a rash of, kind of retro-inspired JRPGs. I think if you're looking for another one of those, 8-Bit Adventures 2 looks pretty cool.
I don't have time for retro games, inspired games, when I just got Pixel Remaster in the mail recently.
That's right, I did too.
Trying to figure that out.
I bought a copy that actually arrived at my house. It's incredible. Square Enix can do it.
Yeah, mine, they shipped it into the path of the hurricane for some dumb reason, which isn't the normal path it would have come, so I don't know why they were like, divert mail that way.
Thanks, Square. I also didn't get an email when it shipped. It just arrived on my doorstep, and it's just like, oh yeah, remember buying this a year ago? It's like, nope, but okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, pass me.
Oh, stickers, yay.
Yeah, exactly. If you're looking for something spooky to play, Crow Country comes out on Switch and PS4. That was already kind of on Xbox platforms and PC up to this point. People really love this game. If you're looking for something that's very inspired by, Resident Evil 1 and 2 specifically, with some sort of modern contrivances, people really liked this game a whole bunch. So, Crow Country coming out on other stuff. Check it out. Amelia's Garden comes out this week on Switch. This is probably one of the hardest games I've had to find information about for a game that looks really cool. It is a kind of cozy puzzle game where you're rebuilding a bunch of pots to grow plants in on the roof of a building. And that's really it.
Cool.
There's a little bit of light stuff of like planting and watering and harvesting stuff in this game, but that doesn't really seem to be the focus. It seems to be, hey, you're putting these pots back together. So that seems neat. It also is apparently like a sequel to a game that I hadn't heard of, which is Tell Me Your Story, which also seems to have been put out by Red Deer Games. But this game isn't even in the Internet Games database, so like first off, Red Deer Games, if you're listening, hi, go get that in that database. That will surface it for more people. Next up, A Quiet Place: The Road Ahead comes out on PS5, Series consoles, and PC. This is the licensed game from the I guess it's now a movie series that you can check out. Very sound focused. They also have microphone support for this, so you can enable your microphone, and if you make sounds in real life, you die in written.
The monsters come and get you.
Yeah, monsters get you in real life. No, you can very much like PS2's Manhunt. If you make any sounds in real life, and people are saying that the microphone is very, very sensitive for this mode, then the monsters will come find you in the game. So we don't have a lot of that, so that's kind of fun.
Are people who say this podcasters? Because we podcasters know how to dial those settings down, baby.
That's right. That's right. Control your gain, people. So that's coming out.
That doesn't go to you, Jim Bros. You just keep going.
Yeah, you're doing what you're doing. Yeah. Eternites coming out on the Switch. We talked about this. Nip and I talked about this year. It's been a very long year.
Last year? Yeah.
Recently.
I think it was last year. Yeah.
We played this. This is the kind of
Persona-like
dungeon crawling romance horror end of the world thing that is it's pretty cool. I'm really happy to see this is coming out on Switch. That's a really good platform for it. I think it can find a pretty big audience on Switch if you can give it a chance. I meant to go look and see if a demo was coming out for this, but I wasn't able to look for that because that'd be the recommendation. Is if you haven't checked out Eternites, the demo was pretty cool. So.
Yeah, it's also a short game too. Like sub 20 hours.
It's not
either
like
add or sub, but
Persona 5 where it's like it's triple digits. Like get ready, you're in it for months. So check out Eternites. That game was cool. Super Mario Party Jamboree comes out on the Switch. 110 minigames. Nobody wins, etc., etc. The whole everybody's here. The whole thing. Like you literally.
I love these games and I hate them at the same time.
Yep. They are the misery simulators that I also really enjoy. If you can play this with other people, these are, and realize that.
I mean, that's the only way to play.
Yeah, but like play them with people that also realize the point isn't to win. The point is just to see how ridiculous the especially the end of these things go. These aren't fair games. Like everybody goes into these games saying like, of course I'm gonna win. I have 8 stars at the end of the last round. It's like, oh, you fool. That means you're going to be in 4th place. The game is going to take advantage of that glimmer of hope that you have and punish you.
Yeah. Let me explain to you what the rubber band effect is.
That's right. That's this game. So it seems cool. There seems to be a lot of additional stuff. I'm always kind of excited to see what devilish mini games they come up with each time. But I also love my family, so I'm not going to play it with them because that will just start a fight. So, Mario Party. Next up here,
there's a reason I back away from playing that with people.
Right. The bloodlust takes you. You need to win. Next game up here is Tinkertown, coming out on Xbox One and Series consoles. This is an interesting, calls it a multiplayer sandbox experience. This seems like a kind of like town building, hack and slash RPG, multiplayer crafting thing.
It's a lot like Stardew Valley.
Yeah, a very different style, but kind of the same. I feel like this is one of those things of like, hey, do you like playing Stardew Valley with other people and maybe kind of have the like Minecraft building, crafting sort of thing? Then maybe Tinkertown is going to be a thing that you're gonna enjoy. So cool, it's cool. I struggle to kind of figure out how to describe games like this because they all kind of I never know what the difference is between them. It's like, what's the difference between this and a whole bunch of games that seem very similar, and I'm never entirely sure. So seems cool. Boy, we still got more. Retro Realms Halloween and Retro Realms Ash vs. Evil Dead. It's 2 separate games. Come on, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series console, Switch, and PC. These are games from Way Forward. Basically, WayForward is making the games that they always make, which are kind of very gorgeous pixel 2D side-scrolling hack and slashers. One of them is you play as Michael Myers, and the other one is you play as Ash. And you kind of do the regular WayForward stuff. So these seem cool. The Halloween one seems exceptionally bloody in a way that you sort of really want them to be. So
so does the Evil Dead one so far.
yeah. So I don't. WayForward always makes great stuff, and I kind of, these are other games I don't really know how to talk about either, because it's sort of like WayForward makes incredible stuff, and you sort of already know what it's going to be like. So check those out, I guess. Oh, yeah. Neat. Last game here we have is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed. Comes out PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Series Console, Switch, and PC. This is a kind of 3D beat-em-up brawler that's based on the new Ninja Turtles stuff, like the movie, that kind of like that sketch-looking movie that came out recently.
Yeah. I think the new show is the same style too.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen anything from that. That's cool. But yeah, it seems very much like you're probably going to play this co-op. You're going to do a bunch of beating up of foot soldiers and mutants and whatnot, and you're probably going to have a good time. So this looks cool.
Don't forget Shredder. Always a Shredder.
Yes.
Always a Shredder.
Yeah, don't forget a Shredder. They really nailed the style of this stuff, though, in a way that I think is really cool. So that seems neat. We need more kind of beat 'em ups like that.
There is always a Shredder. And
right.
4 turtles.
There's always a lighthouse. PS Plus game catalog for October. There's quite a few here that are of note. The game catalog for PS Plus Extra and Premium, Dead Island 2 comes out PS4 and PS5. I wanted to play this for a while. People said it was really good, so maybe now's the time. 2 Point Campus for PS4 and PS5. That game's really great. If you've been curious about those, you can't go wrong with either one of them, but I thought Campus was really good. The Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me, comes out PS4 and PS5. If you're looking for something to play for October, for the spooky season, you can check that out. Gris or Gree, still who knows, PS4 and PS5. Return to Monkey Island for PS5, and Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed for PS4 and PS5. That was the multiplayer one that I never heard anything about, so
yeah,
take that as you may. And then PS Premium, the PS2 classics, PlayStation classics, Dino Crisis was PS4 and PS5,
and a good game,
and Siren for PS4 and PS5. So
Dino Crisis Remake 1, please. Parasite Eve Remake 1, please.
Yeah, Parasite Eve, something, man. At least get like the PS Plus
1 and 2
versions of the 1 and 2. There were only 2 of them, so it should be pretty easy. You just do a 2-pack.
Yep. There was never a third.
No, definitely not. PSP, who's that?
The classics are just ports, right? Like they don't do anything.
No,
with
they're
them?
emulated. They're not even ports.
Oh,
yeah, they're run on the emulator. So. There's even more reason of like, the thing that's so maddening, Square isn't doing anything with their back catalog, so just let some other people put them on the emulators. Like it's wild that like Embracer is doing more stuff to remaster some like the 50 bajillion games that they have, instead of Square's like, Final Fantasy Tactics, we didn't put that out, that was someone else, right? It's like, no, dude, do something. Like you don't have to do anything to it. Just
make it so that I can buy it again on the store.
Right.
Like make it $10.
Let me
so
consume.
I can buy it again. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we do have one news story this week that there are a bunch of changes coming to Halo. Let's break this down.
This was a bombshell we all wanted, expected, and certainly needed.
Yeah, so let's break this out from in the order they sort of laid them out in. 343 Industries, the Halo studio, that's gone. Now Halo Studios is in charge of making Halo and Halo properties. That isn't just 343 employees. It's also a bunch of employees from across the Xbox kind of employee ecosystem. So it's not just we rebranded and it's still the same people. It's a whole bunch of additional and new talent in there. A big part of that too is not just kind of like a name change and a rebrand. Halo Studios is going to be making the future Halo games instead of on the Slipspace engine, which Halo Infinite was made on. They're moving to Unreal Engine 5, which is a pretty big change for...
I mean, it is, but look at the hiring problems they have had for the past 10 years. And Slipspace, they said, I think I've read something that like they had stuff in there from like 2012 that was so outdated that it just could not be like easily updated or fixed.
Yeah, so one of the interviews they did, their art lead said that Slipspace had stuff in there that was about approximately 25 years old, which of course you do, because it's like the Source 2 engine. You're improving it, you're rolling forward, like it's not, this stuff wasn't, these games don't look like Halo 1, so of course you're moving stuff forward.
There's legacy God code in there that you don't touch because you don't know why it breaks things, but it does.
Right. So they said they could go and improve and fix all this stuff with Slipspace, but it would take them as much time to do that as it would them to start in Unreal Engine 5. And like Moon was just saying, another big part they were saying is they can hire people that know how to create with UE5 like right out of the gate. There's way less training.
It's an industry standard.
Right.
It's a similar problem that all these studios who make their own engines have a problem with. Look at any Square development for the past 25 years. Look at what EA went through with Frostbite. Still probably going through with Frostbite.
Yeah, and they're saying a big thing is like you can hire somebody and the amount of training you have to do, the amount of onboarding you have to do is a fraction, other than like, here's our custom engine. Blop, here's like a giant book about this engine for you. Yeah. They did show a bunch of concept footage of essentially like Halo stuff in Unreal Engine 5. Like, here's what the lighting would look like. Here's kind of like a shot of Master Chief who looks a little bit odd, but this is all like concept stuff. So it's, it's nothing set in stone. Like, don't listen to YouTube reactionaries of like, they changed Master Chief. Blah, blah, blah.
I'll be honest, he looked odd because his armor looked new. His armor hasn't looked new in like 15 games. Like, where's the scratches and the dents and everything else?
Yeah, and it's all like
that first gen armor in the first game was a lot more bubbled out.
Yeah.
And then they eventually slimmed it down, and that's also what we're used to.
Right. And I mean, there's going to be stuff that's going to change because they're moving to a whole new engine. Like, you got to recreate all of these assets, recreate so much stuff from the ground up. And, this might be an opportunity for them to re-envision some of that stuff. And I think something else that's interesting is VGC, Video Games Chronicle, said that there is potentially a possibility of other Xbox studios helping out with Halo Studios now, because Obsidian, In Exile, The Initiative, Compulsion Games, and I don't remember who's making State of Decay 3. All of those studios already ship stuff in Unreal Engine 5. And some of them Unreal Engine 4 for previous games. But like, you have this stable of developers that already work on Xbox platforms with the engine you're moving to. Like, that seems like kind of a no-brainer for like, all right, Halo, the next Halo game is in crunch, or we're getting into a position where its development is becoming difficult. Bring in the strike team of people that already know how to ship stuff in this engine on this platform.
Yeah.
Grounded is one of the most beautiful games I've played in this gen.
Yeah, that's an excellent example. Yeah,
it's so beautiful, and it's now cross-platform, and it's easy to port because, hey, guess what?
Yep,
it's in the Unreal Engine.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that was Unreal 4 end of, probably not even Unreal 5.
Yeah,
I also can't help to notice their whole PR vision of this video where everyone is happy and bubbly and blah,
It's
blah,
just,
blah. And
it's
like,
very much the like behind the scenes of the studio of like, we love it. It's like,
yeah.
sure, yeah. But what I thought was really interesting is a bunch of the Halo Studios heads blamed the slipspace engine for the continued problems with Halo Infinite. That's a big reason why it got delayed. That's a big reason why they've had trouble, working on a whole bunch of stuff. That's a big reason why it's been so slow for that game to move. Has been we're just struggling with this engine overall.
I checked and grounded is Unreal Engine 4, so
Perfect.
it's really late Unreal 4.
Yeah.
But question, Boston.
Yeah.
Would Destiny dev be better if they didn't have a custom engine?
That's always been the question, and I feel like Bungie has addressed that every once in a while of like, look, if Unreal Engine 5 can do the complicated server stuff that we're doing, that might be a decision that we could make for, the next Destiny title, which is never happening.
Yeah.
But like the reason why they made the Tiger engine was none of these engines can do this server stuff we were doing. Definitely not when Destiny
time.
1 launched.
Yeah.
And now they're like way too deep into Destiny 2. But I think that's really been the question of like,
I mean, I think Fortnite proves that it kind of does do all of the server stuff now.
Fortnite definitely has the scale, but I wonder how much Fortnite has the level of complexity that Bungie says that Destiny has. Whether that's true or not, no one will really ever know. But I think that's definitely a question of Bungie's running into the same thing too, especially as they're having a much higher level of churn, to put it kindly. When you bring in new employees to work on Destiny, it's like, how long is that ramp up for the Tiger engine? It's got to be considerable. So it's really interesting. It's really interesting to see them just say like, we're going to kind of work on this studio from a foundational level and kind of reimagine Halo from the ground up. The studio head, I think it was Pete Heinz, said like, look, we're talking about this, we're talking about rebranding, we're talking about UE5. You're not going to hear from us for a really long time. Like the next time that you're going to hear from us is when we have something concrete to show that we're shipping, which is great.
You know what would be a very, very, very good idea?
Mm-hmm.
Remake Halo 1. I know
Sure.
the MCC collection is in a really great place now. I know
Right.
it. I know it is. I think you line up a bunch of other projects,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, if you want that feel, if you want that vibe, if you want the legacy back,
Right.
remake Halo 1 for whatever the next gen is.
I feel like that would probably be something that comes maybe a couple of months to a year before the next Halo game ships. But also, as someone who's not a Halo fan, I know this is going to be sacrilege, but how much do you go to this point of trying to veer farther away from Master Chief's story and like the whole Master Chief thing into something that's really brand new? I know that's probably
make
not
ODS
what the market wants.
make ODST2.
Yeah, exactly. Like
ODST2 works.
Yeah.
I mean,
the biggest issue though too. Well, go ahead, man.
One of the big rumors was that Spencer like denied a request to basically make Helldivers, but in the Halo universe with ODST.
Right, I saw that too. Yeah.
But I know a lot of issues with the communities, among other things. They really retcon a lot of stuff after Halo 3.
Oh, okay.
Like,
sure.
So, like, 4, 5, and Infinite, which is now 6, or, was 6.
Mm-hmm.
The story and things that happened in the original trilogy, some of that stuff didn't happen in the newer versions of the game. Some of the stories have been tweaked and changed. So I know that's a lot of the discourse and a lot a lot of why some people had issues with Infinite to begin with. And yeah, it also didn't help that it launched broke and didn't really work that well. Like, I'd never finished 6. I liked the idea of what they did.
I haven't started or played 5 or 6.
Yeah, but there's so much wrong with 6 when it released that it's like, and this is your guys' flagship game, and this is how you're putting it out there now,
right?
Like,
yeah, and I know the community has always felt really strongly about playing as Master Chief and it being Master Chief's story.
But that's the funny thing is, I don't think they have.
ODST and Reach are both like the most highest.
They're the most praised games.
Yeah.
And I wonder too, with them moving to UE5, how much of that is a cross-platform strategy as well? Because the rumor,
I mean, that's the thing to me.
The rumor mill has been swirling for a couple of months now about Forza Horizon 5 being on PS5. It's supposed, like, you always hear like it's dropping any day now. They're gonna announce it, which would be great.
That always seems to be one of the ones.
Yeah, I'll play that too. But like, when do they've already pulled they've already like broken the glass on the emergency thing of like Call of Duty's on Game Pass. When do you crack the big one of like Halo's on PS5?
I don't think they ever do, if I'm honest. Like, I think if they want to keep the brand sacrosanct,
right,
they have to keep Halo as a PC and Xbox thing.
It's a Microsoft brand, like,
it is, but 100%. There is so much kickback nowadays about having games locked to a specific platform now.
And I could see them if they remake Halo 1. You could maybe say like, yeah, and it also comes out on PS5.
To be honest, even if they don't want to remake Halo 1, make Halo 0.
Sure.
Give me the full backstory that's included in the books about Chief being kidnapped
and all of that dumb.
Chief being kidnapped when he was a kid.
Right,
his training programs when he was a kid. His missions pre-Spartan program or pre-armor program when he was just in a regular ODST suit going to fight some rebels. Give me that stuff and then lead up to the Covenant from there. Like, there is a lot of options, a lot of places they could slot games into. I think they can't put it on any other platform. If they do, then Microsoft is just a publisher at that point.
I mean, they're marching towards that because the Series consoles are in a dire state from a sales perspective.
I can't help but think, like, so obviously take this with a grain of salt because I'm pulling information out the air here. I don't think it's Xbox's decision to make things multi-platform. I think that is a Microsoft decision saying, hey, we just spent $49 billion.
Right. Recoup those costs.
Make some money back on this, like now, kind of thing. This is the first Call of Duty that they own. Is about to drop. Like, literally 2 weeks or something like that is about to drop.
Right.
It's on Game Pass, yes.
Yeah.
But the thing you need to keep in mind with Call of Duty is buying the game is not how they make their money.
Oh,
they
100%.
Make their money with the new skins for the Warzone, with the
battle passes,
the little weak skins for your AK-47.
That's right.
I think the pressure comes off Xbox to make things multi-platform the second they start seeing those numbers come in from Call of Duty across all platforms. Like, when they start saying, oh, wait, hey, this week we got like $10 million in our bank account and it's all from Sony. What's that? Oh, that's Call of Duty. Oh, okay.
Right.
10 million. Let's keep this train rolling, kind of thing. I think then the pressure comes off them a little bit to start making everything multi-plat.
Yeah, I think we didn't talk about Call of Duty, whatever the most recent one is. I don't really care what it's called. That
Black
one
Ops
hitting
6 or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I think it's Black Ops 6. That one hitting Game Pass is kind of a big news story because Game Pass is not doing poorly, but it's very clearly plateaued in subscriber numbers.
35 million, I think,
something like
is
that.
what it is.
It's not moving at all, no matter kind of what they're putting on it. And then muddying the waters in the same way that Sony muddied the waters with multiple tiers, and now first-party day one games don't come to this tier. They'll come a year later or whatever it is.
Unless you're grandfathered in, which is even worse of a way to do it. To be honest,
just like one more variable that's more confusing. to me, the Call of Duty thing on Game Pass is kind of a big deal, because if that flops, then and Game Pass continues to kind of stay stable where it is or continue to decline.
I think it's gonna. I don't think people care enough about Call of Duty.
No.
People who play Call of Duty don't care enough about games,
right,
to sign up for Game Pass for Call of Duty. They'd rather pay their $60, $70, correction,
right,
buy it and be done with it.
That's also my concern of, like, if you're playing Call of Duty, you're typically playing just that, or that's going to be the thing you're going to play for the next 6 months or something until you pick up something else of similar size. So, like, why? What else are you going to play on Game Pass?
But this is the thing. This is the thing that I think takes the pressure off everything. 32, 35 million, that's not a small number to you know...
Sure.
That's
still a big number.
It's a very big number.
Yeah.
I think the second the paychecks start coming in from Call of Duty, that's when the pressure comes off a little bit.
Sure.
It's like, oh, we're getting this every year.
Yeah.
So because no matter how good or bad those games are, they just sell.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
So, like, if they're getting that money in, a big chunk in every October, November, and then they're getting steady income from every single microtransaction that they do.
Right.
I think at that point they're like, yeah, okay, let's loosen the reins a little bit here, because it's not Xbox. I think that's making these decisions. I think it's pressure from Microsoft making these 100%. Decisions happen.
Yeah, and it seems like the Call of Duty games are still selling really well. I don't think they're selling anywhere near the level of, like, Modern Warfare and.
I was gonna say, I've been digging around trying to look. The last Call of Duty game was Modern Warfare 3, which during its 2023 launch reported to be 25% lower than 2022's Modern Warfare 2 sales.
25% is pretty big for a game that sells that many. Okay.
Yeah, but I am having a fun time trying to find actual numbers to anything.
Yeah. Ever since they got rid of the MPD and Activision had the option to not reveal digital sales, they just stopped.
Yeah, they're just like, it's doing really great. We hit a record high. Don't worry about it.
And it was always a record high different thing. It's a record high release in media. It's a record high release in shoot 'em ups.
Concurrent players at one time on a Thursday evening, like that sort of thing.
Yeah, if anyone top 3 best-selling games of January 2024: Call of Duty Warfare 3, Tekken 8, and Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League are the top 3 games for that month.
That's a rough month, man. Yeah, if anybody didn't know, NPD doesn't exist anymore. It's Circana at the moment. We haven't talked about NPD for a while, but they got bought out, merged or whatever into Circana. They still do Matt Piscatello over there still does the sales numbers, but like Moon said, a ton of publishers don't report numbers anymore. Some do physical and digital, some do one or the other, but not all of them. So, like, getting a picture of sales numbers is kind of a fool's errand at this point for people like us that don't have inside information. So
the new Modern Warfare in 2019 was over 30 million.
That's a really big number still.
The 2020 version was over 30 million.
Wow.
2021 was over 30 million. 2012 was 29 million. Like, it ebbs and flows. Like,
yeah, because I feel like
because remember, it's based on the studio too and the different styles. Because Modern Warfare is different from Black Ops, and
this is the one studio making. I don't like them.
Yeah,
I think throw Warzone in there, and you've got money year round with, like, the microtransactions, and then like you said, the battle passes
and all that.
Yeah,
And the fact that they've turned it into a service now. They were the first to do what Ubisoft has been threatening to do for a decade. And they're just like, here is a launcher, figure out what you want to play and install it.
It's the Call of Duty platform.
Yeah. They have a multiplayer-only install now, where you don't have to install all 5,000 gigs in order to play the thing.
That's right. That's
right. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, you say, oh, yeah, it went down like 20%, 30%, up 25%, up 15%. It is a big number. But it's a small number in comparison to the total number. Because when you say 23 million to 30 million, that's a 7 million difference. You tell me any dev or publisher out there that wouldn't kill for 10 million sales, let alone 23.
Yeah. And like you said, the kind of, pardon the term, the halo effect here of the battle passes and the skins and the Snoop Dogg voice packs and the map packs and all that stuff. Like, all of that stuff continues to sell really well. So, sure, the initial install base was down by 25%, but was the month to month, year over year
the earnings are probably so much higher.
Yeah, was that stuff stable or higher? Like, the full picture becomes quite a bit muddier.
Especially since Warzone went free to play, if I remember correctly, and it's just a platform.
Right.
So you can,
it is.
Yeah.
Warzone, you can just play regardless of if you bought.
Because then you could buy Modern Warfare 2 and 3, and that would just run off of the Warzone platform.
Yeah.
If you decided to play those.
It got much more confusing at some point.
What?
Yeah. So this is all to say, Xbox is in kind of an interesting position here right now. It seems like, at least from the Halo studio, they're making the right decision. Sort of getting back to square one, rebranding the studio, bringing in a bunch of fresh blood, getting rid of that albatross around their neck, which is the Slipspace engine. Those all seem like really good investment
good business
calls.
Decisions.
Right. And now we're going to kind of play the waiting game for, I'm going to assume, a couple of years at this point. They'll probably support a little bit of Halo Infinite here and there, but nothing really major, because I think they really just want to be done with that at this point. And then we'll see, once they have a game or games to announce, we'll see what the Halo studio is going to show off.
So my biggest fear here,
Mm-hmm.
what if they learn the wrong lessons from Activision?
Ooh,
what if
okay.
that Halo Studios is in charge of the game? This year is Obsidian's Halo game.
Oh.
Next year is Playground Games' Halo game.
Right.
The year after that is someone else's, because everyone else is using UE5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now, what if we get an actual Obsidian Halo?
I was going to say that, a studio
I would for an Obsidian Halo.
Yeah, a studio genre appropriate, like Obsidian's just
not
making
their
a
name
choice-based
like
RPG.
An Obsidian Halo.
Playground is making a Warhog racing game. Let's go. Like,
I mean,
yeah.
If you want them to branch out, let's do that.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
Let's
that.
go all the way in.
Give me the cutesy kart racer.
I want story choices and
yeah, exactly.
Don't if you're talking Playground, don't give me the Forza one with the actual Warthog is already in there. Give me the cute kart racer where there's Master Chief in his little Warthog,
an SD
with a big
Master
head.
Chief.
Yeah, with a huge head, and then I don't know. There's Sonic in his one from Sonic game.
Sonic and John 117's racing extravaganza.
Yeah. They did it for Mario at the Olympics.
That's right.
I want the choice. Do you blow up the Alpha Halo and then you do it, and they're like, UNSC didn't like that decision.
That's right. They're going to remember that. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on this over the. I don't expect to hear anything about this for quite a while, but we'll keep it. This is kind of a big news story, so we'll keep an eye on it over the next couple of years as things continue to unfold here. So, but that's all of our news stories, which means that's the end of our episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at tvgp.tv. Everywhere to find and follow us is on the right-hand side of the page. Don't forget to hit us up, patreon.com/E1M1.
Ones and numbers.
$5 a month, that's a recommended tier. Gets you everything. Anything above and beyond that, if you're rich, please go do that. We could use more. I mean, pricing just gets more expensive. Hosting gets more expensive month over month, year over year. So
really lean into it, please. Let me quit my 2 jobs.
That's right. Yeah, really just let me pay Moon to stream video games all day.
Mm-hmm.
That would be.
Plus, that the spreadsheet that we don't talk about.
That's right.
Unnamed
spreadsheet
that must not be named.
That's right.
Spreadsheet where dreams go to die.
100%.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you can't support us financially, totally understand. Please visit the YouTube channel. Anything that we put out on the public feed has a video version as well, along with live stream archives too. So if you want to see the full live stream for this episode, you can and more, you can get that over there. Also, don't forget October 25th, Moon's big TVGP birthday extravaganza. Join the Discord server. Discord.tvgp.tv. That'll get you the invite over there. It'll probably be in the LFG channel because that's a little bit less active than the other channels. So all the information will probably be over there as well. So go check that out. Lethal Company is, I think, what, $7, $10, something?
If even that.
Like that.
And it runs on a potato. You don't need a hefty machine to run it.
If you got a TI-85, it'll run on that.
It runs on my machine, which is at this point pretty much a potato, and it chugs a little bit, but it works.
$10.
Yeah, $10. So you wanna play something dumb and fun and slightly spooky and ridiculous and in all the best ways, come over there and check that out.
Yes. Come see the new baby monster. It's terrifying.
Yep, it's no good. It's not good at all. All right. Thank you everyone for listening. We'll see you all next week. Bye.
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 All right, Imp. Oh, went down the wrong tube. What are your titles?
I have All the Eldritch Horrors, Truck is Chaos. It's a fantastic feature. You know, benevolent. Oh, God, that just screwed me up.
Benevolently.
Thank you. No, 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 no.
Benevolent.
That's a lot of Balatro, man. Control your gain, and come see the new baby monster.
Moon, what do you have?
The left-hand machine, save issues, hate, open brackets, complimentary, close brackets, get good argument, like Isaac, you're a smart boy, my heart needs to heal, and control your gain.
I have a more focused mod list. Be there and be scared. I bought him a shotgun, always crab walking, and, benevolently.
I'm sorry, but control your gain takes this easily, dude. You said that so flippantly. It was just so delightfully executed. And it was it was perfect for the thing at hand.
I'll circle it.
I'm assuming you're with me, Nim.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that. Because the only other one it was gonna be was the one I struggled on, and that's only because it's the struggle. Yeah. All right, I am ready.
Oh.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, starting in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 886 for October 886. That my brain which went nope.
No.
886.
Hey, if it makes you feel any better, I call this 885.
Well, it's in the realm. All right, take 2 in 3, 2, 1. This is That Video Game Podcast, episode 886 for October 14th, 2024. Control your gain.
Don't forget those post-podcast shakes.
Is your gate at -24?
All right, thank you very much, everyone, for listening, hanging out with us, watching, chatting. We greatly appreciate it. We hope we'll see you next week. Bye!